pull up a seat and motherfucking listen. Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen.
Pack your bag, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our grind, we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on.
You landed on the tarmac, fresh off the boat. Talking about y'all building nothing, man, you choking on the note. My ancestors the reason that this country even breathes. Picked the cotton, built the White House, planted the seed. Jim Crow laws, redlined the map. We was the target. You think that struggle's a costume, man, you can't mark it. We fought the wars, we bled the blood, we died for our future's chance. And you come here and give our legacy a side eye while throwing shade on the guard. Why you benefit from doors we kicked down with our last breath? Now you spit on the architects who stared down death. Disrespectful, that's disrespectful, ungrateful. A slap in the face, the only people who gave a fuck. So let me show your ungrateful ass to the right place.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our ground and we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on.
Passport, the visa, the privilege to be here. Cause my grandma didn't march for y'all, so disappear from our land. You cosplaying our pain. Think it's a trend you can borrow, but you ain't inherit the ghosts of our sorrow. We the foundation, the bedrock, the soil and the root. You not no branch on our tree, and unproductive people always cosplaying me.
Talking about we ain't do nothing, you lost your mind. We built this from nothing, time after time.
From the beginning to now, we been the backbone and muscle. Why you look down on the struggle and cause a whole tussle? That energy style was disgusting, it's whack. So let's make it clear, there's no turning back.
This land is paid for in full.
In blood, sweat, and tears, and dreams deferred.
You don't get to come into a house we built from the dirt and telling Black America y'all ain't worth nothing. That's a violation, facts.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
This our soil, on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
Show respect, this our ground, y'all just tenants on a leash.
Or get the step.
Show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your digits, I can just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your digits, I can just fly on.
Yeah, fly little birdies.
Fly on back to where you came from.
This ain't for you. This still is sacred.
We said what we said.
It's time
for y'all to go home. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. Bye bye, little birds.
We forgot, but we never forget. This one's for tears for 100 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, no disguise. The spirit's what we realize. All we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that vibe. This is our day, this is our ride. We LBA. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundational Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the stars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know it's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up, rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our plains are proud, our roots are trees. We know worlds. It's rhythm and grace now, and now we're reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We FBA, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans, still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the root, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black American.
We set the tone and they copy the cadence. Dance to our drums and deny the foundation. Wear the style but don't honor the source. Smile in the crowd and you distance and force. Say you not us but you rap like we breathe. Take the rhythm, then fuse the receipts. I ain't mad, I'm just holding the glass. Showing the mirror, now answer it back. I ain't here to cancel nobody. Just keep it honest, keep it solid. If you eat from the table we built, don't act surprised when we guard it. Do you like that? Do you like that? When I flip your sound and I ride like that. Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Cause that's how it feel when you borrow my culture. Then act like we never mattered. Hip-hop.
Mike Larry. Now this shit here, it's what I see it is. We're not fighting your battles. We're not carrying your fear. We're not lending our history to people who erased us while we were here. Just cause you're born here, don't make you FBA. That makes you a citizen, learn the difference today. This is lineage, not a look you can wear. Not a costume you borrow when it benefits you there. You used our culture like an access card, backstage pass, a straight facade. But now the mirror's in your face, no disguise. And you're uncomfortable looking truth in the eyes. We didn't leave our land to beg for a chance. We stayed, we fought, we took every advance. That's the separation, that's the line you cross. We paid the price, you learned the cost. You waving your flag on our soil.
but fighting not to go back home. Waving your flag on our soil, building comfort on a foundation you didn't know. We waving our flag, red, black, and gold. Stood our ground, never sold. You waving your flag on our soil, but scared to build what you claim you love. Our humor, our style, the way we move, the smoothness, the sound, the things we prove. Music we birth, language we shape, innovation forged under constant escape. Warrior spirit means stay and defend, not flee your land and rewrite the end. You call it success, but don't confuse the two. East came after what we went through. You abandoned your land and called it strategy. You wave that flag loud, but won't return to build your legacy. That contradiction tells the story for you. You waving your flag on our soil, we're fighting not to go back home. We waving ours where we were forged, every inch earned, every brick known. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We know who we are, and now we see who you are too. Just because y'all born here doesn't make you FBA at all. It makes you an American citizen. It's biologically impossible to be us because it's a lineage, not some damn costume you can just put on to look cool. You immigrants and immigrant Americans has used our culture as an access card, a backstage pass to our culture. Now y'all have to look in the mirror. Our sense of humor, the aesthetics, mannerisms, the style of dress, the smoothness, the creativity, our genres of music, innovativeness, our slang, our warrior spirit by staying on our homeland and fighting and not fleeing to somebody else's land to beg for a better life and shit on the very people who fought to have us there. That's who we are. And we know who the hell y'all are waving your flag on our soil and fighting to make sure y'all don't go back.
You can't leech off our culture anymore. Beat it!
Mike Larry, man, you did it again. We really making history. Let's go.
Do you like that? Do you like that?
Flip your sound, how you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Say it loud, don't walk it back. Do you like that?
Do you like that?
You grew up mimicking us, now y'all switch it up. Turn the carbon copy, y'all ain't black, what the fuck? It's funny y'all connecting to our culture like it's Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
Surfing on our waves of our culture, no more agua. Stealing my culture for all these years. Look how time flies, all these colonizers in the skies. Hate y'all still, hate us outside. Study doctor, vampires, it's the blood of our guilt. They copy the flavor, sip the juice. Love the results, hate the truth. Who? Do you like that? Flip your sound, how you like that? Do you like that? Democratic shields, talking points, the road they fill. Fish and chips, agent on the mic, judging FBAs, but ain't you half white? Talking like you one of us, we need a proof face. The agent type with a prune face, like 50 and Jim, it's a cold game. Throwing stones cause we built our own lane. I'm joking, kinda, but I mean smile calm, pressure intact. Y'all proud where y'all from, where they flag, beat they drum. But when it's us, tone switch fast. Same pride, but it's too much. FBA pride, lineage solid, you can't put this on, can't try it on. Built here, stayed and fought, that's the difference. That's the car. Do you like that? Do you like that? Say it clear, don't twist the facts. Do you like that? Yeah. Do you like that? Do you like that? Point made. No edit. No care.
You know, erasing history is something that you have to do when it comes to conquest, domination, and destroying a people. If people knew who they were, and what they were capable of in the past, they will understand what they have a possibility or a likelihood of doing in the future.
Foundation of Black Americans, we've always had a culture of resistance. We cultivated a culture of resistance on this land, and we've been resisting ever since we've encountered European domination.
But nothing was really popping in Europe until the transatlantic slave trade, and that's where they amassed a lot of wealth.
One thing that I think is unique about our culture as far as how we resist, how we fight back is just the environment we were put in from day one. Being only 13% of the population, the white supremacists were very meticulous about keeping that population at a certain amount.
There was never a period when we did not resist the encroachment of the white man.
They have a natural behavior of authority no matter where they go. That's why they'll step up in front of us in the line at the store. We're not important. They don't even see us.
We've never been able to excel. We've never been able to relax. We've never been able to just be, which means that existence is resistance.
It must be something in our DNA, our historical background, to when something doesn't sit right with us, especially spiritually, in our souls and in our spirit, we just say no.
We live resistance. You know, from the moment we're born, we're in resistance. And it's handed down generation to generation.
And so I think that cultural resistance is actually in our DNA, in our epigenetics, and then it blossoms out into the culture.
So there's almost nothing in America that we do, from song to dance to politics to the way we talk, the way we dress, having coded languages considered to be slang today. Everything about Black American culture is a form of resistance.
Of course, they want to always downplay our contributions to the global tapestry because they continue to act like our number one export in this country is not Black innovation.
Everyone understands that our resistance has been the cornerstone of what foundational Black Americans have always done. We are the life that breathes everything into this nation.
The further back you go, the further Black you go. It's just simple like that, brother.
Introducing the B1 Rolodex, the easiest way to search for and support FBA and B1 businesses. Hundreds of entries from the Black grassroots for the Black grassroots. Free to use, free to download, constantly updated. Trouble navigating the document? Try using the map version. Notice a business missing? Use this simple Google form to submit an FBA or B1 business. Also submit anti-Black businesses, which are now being collected in that last tab. Find resources, contact numbers, and much more using the second tab. All the info you need to start practicing group economics today. Go to blacktruthunited.com. That's blacktruthunited.com.
All right, greetings, Black family, greetings, and thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Front Line Blacc News. I'm your host, Chan Krumman, and we're joined with the other host, Lady Che, and we got our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced in the house, and we got our certified, codified B1 Mile High brother, Kukizi in the building. Salute to both of you. And on this Season 6, Episode 22, Part 3, Part 3 of the Frontline Blacc News. We'll be discussing several topics. The first one that we didn't get to in Part 2, and that is...
What's up, world? Let me tell you.
Baltimore's Reparations Committee, a fraud. Yeah. The gatekeeping in Black America will not get out the way. The gatekeepers in Black America will not get out the way so younger people can lead. Here's why. Then investigate why Johnnie Cochran suspiciously, passed after preparing to sue the United States government for reparations. Then we got YouTube bans Iranian AI Lego videos. And if we have time, Kristi Noem, husband scandal, secret life exposed, BOOSIE exposes DJ, or as I call him, Asian Blad, for not paying his black guests, but gave Snitch 9 $50K for an interview. Then we got Anton Punk Ass Daniels files a lawsuit against our brother Corey Holcomb. And then we got our Unhoused neighbor news, our illegal migrant news, and our local Denver/Aurora news. And we are based out of East Denver, North Aurora, Colorado. You get news from a Front Line and Blacc First perspective. We are a part of the new Blacc Media and also the signal boosters of the new Blacc Media. We have been around for 6 seasons now, and we have several platforms that are a part of the Front Line campaign. Salute Michael. We got Michael in here. We got Cow Dog Twin, Kahari, and that's it so far. Shout out to all y'all. And Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced is based off the 50th anniversary of the founding of the original Black Panther Party. Started on Blog Talk Radio back in 2016 and have been around for 11 seasons now. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced covers the Black experience from the beginning of time until 10 minutes ago, and is also a part of the Frontline campaign and has recently, within the last 2 to 3 years, moved from Blog Talk Radio to StreamYard. Please make sure y'all join us on YouTube Frontline Blacc News, join us on StreamYard YouTube Frontline Blacc News. The links to all of our channels are in the description, including Frontline Blacc News. Frontline Blacc News 2, our backup channel, make sure y'all sub up to that. Just in case they try to take Frontline Blacc News down again. Sorry, I got cotton mouth, y'all. You know, it's 420. And then we got my personal page, which just got out of jail, Jesse Parrish, aka Chan Kruma. That's where we stream all the city council meetings for Denver and Aurora and all the local Denver and Aurora Black events. And then we got Lady Chase backup channel, Seduction Doll. Make sure you sub to that so she can start going live on that YouTube channel. Then we got her main channel, the RBA, the Revolutionary Agenda, which she did 2 last week. So make sure y'all check them out. Then we got Shabaka's YouTube channel, Janet 1. Make sure y'all sub to that so Shabaka can start going live on YouTube. Then we got Cuzzo, our Lokester out the Bay Area, Jay Militant. Make sure y'all sub to his channel, What's Cracking TV with Jay Militant. Then we got our brother Breeze Omega. We got our brother Cookies, who's in the building right now. Make sure y'all sub to his channel as well, Cookies 5100. Then we got our brother out of Virginia via New York, Breeze Omega. Make sure y'all sub to his channel as well. He just surpassed 1,000 subscribers. So shout out to him. Yep, happy 420, twin. Then we got the Church of Black Power. I brought out of Watts, California, who's now in Houston, Texas. Make sure you sub to his channel as well. He did a great stream the other day. So make sure you check him out. He's heavy, and he's going to be interviewing me this week. So make sure you check that out on his platform, Church of Black Power. And then last but not least, we got our brother Black Truth United, who is on hiatus, but did come up with the B1 Rolodex, which I played the ad for, which is B1 and FBA, a modern day green book for FBA and B1 businesses all over the country. So the links to submit your business to the Rolodex is in the description. Yours truly is in the Rolodex for my political work. And then we got the link to the Rolodex itself is in the description. Then we got Council of the Congressional Black Caucus and create a foundational Black American caucus. The petition for that and the link to that is in the description. Then we got our sister Brooke, the one that calls me her uncle or niece. The links to her call to action are in the description. Then we got Lady Chase GoFundMe. Donate to that if you haven't already. And then we got the 103-year-old elder who's on the verge of losing her home in almost 40 years in South Central Los Angeles. So the link to her GoFundMe is also in the description. Then we got my campaign, Support Me, Jesse Parrish, for House of Representatives in Colorado for the House of District 8. And the link to the website is in the description. And then we got description, copyright disclaimer on the Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976.
You forget to admit that. Then I put it under construction so that I get it edited and make sure it's ready. I forget.
Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And I do not own the rights to the music. And if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you understand will only confuse you. In all 9 or 10 areas of human and people activity, and that is economics, that is education, that is entertainment, that is labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And some say health and nutrition. In all 9 or 10 areas of human and people activity, and that was by Mr. Nellie Fuller Jr., who passed away exactly a year ago at the age of 95, ProduceJustice.com. And when you, a Black person, are captured by any race soldier, you must never fuss, fight, or flee. Comply and defend yourself in court, also by Nellie Fuller Jr. And last but certainly not least, before you produce that justice, racism, white supremacy is conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival, to prevent white genetic annihilation. And you want to replace that with a system of justice, which guarantees that nobody's mistreated by the color of their skin or just in general is mistreated. And those that need the most constructive help get it in a constructive manner. And that was by the late, great Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and the late, great Mr. Nellie Fuller Jr. And Dr. Francis Cress Wilson passed away exactly 10 years ago. And she would have been 90 as of 3 weeks ago. And shout out to our FBA brother, Tariq Nasheed, for paying for her funeral along with several others. So those are the topics. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. All right, Shabaka, what do you got to say before we get started?
Okay, greetings, ladies and gentlemen, from Sin City. It's windy out here, partly cloudy, so my signal might be going in and out because they got a weird weather system coming in off the coast of California. Okay, and me personally, I think they're manipulating some of this weather stuff, you know. And so, and like I said, and we got to figure out a ways to defend ourselves economically, politically, and socially. Also, too, I just finished sitting at the lunch counter begging for a cup of coffee, the counter that I own. Okay, and then on top of that, I just want to mention the situation about Mr. Cochran briefly. Yeah, and this is from memory. As you know, when Johnnie Cochran got O.J. Simpson acquitted, okay, he was putting together the package, you know, for the reparations, okay? Right. And then all of a sudden, okay, and then, you know, he passed away suddenly. So the question is, was it something that he consumed? Was it something that he breathed? Or did it go get a medical examination and get hit with a jab? You say, you know, and it is mysterious, okay? It is. Yeah. Now, the thing is that you have to understand about Mr. Cochran is that he took a lot of cases pro bono for our people in the community, mainly out there on the southeast side and in Watts and what have you, dealing with police abuse. You see what I mean? Okay. So, you know, he was a well-spoken gentleman, you know what I'm saying? Mannerable gentleman. I also went to the same high school many years later after Johnnie Cochran had went.
Oh yeah.
And then the
broke up, Shabaka.
He said he might.
Yeah, he did say that.
Okay. And then there's a brother by the name, I believe, Ren Martin, who comes on social media, okay, where he's waving a flag that says "fuck ICE, fuck Trump," okay, and he's been getting a lot of hate.
Didn't he help free P. Diddy? Yeah, he represented MJ too.
Yeah. Yeah, and he also represented it. Wait a minute, didn't he represent Kobe Bryant as well too?
He passed that when that stuff happened with Kobe Bryant.
Wait a minute, yeah, you're absolutely correct. I stand corrected.
Okay. As a matter of fact, yeah, in the same year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did have a lot of high-profile cases, and the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, they didn't dig Mr. Cochran, okay? It's because he was representing our people, and in one of the most racist, politicized judicial systems in the country is the Los Angeles County judicial system. Yeah, okay. And then too, as we know about the O.J. Simpson case, Mark Furman, the infamous statement that the gloves don't fit. So if they don't fit, they must have quit. That's where that saying there came from. And then
make sure you share off the link.
Okay. And so what it is, Black family, they don't want us doing nothing. They want us to be totally dependent on them. We're supposed to forget everything. Hey, Fresh, okay. We're supposed to come up here with this bullshit that we are all the same and all of that. And we've been going in on the Biscos a little bit.
Get along, Shabaka.
Yeah, which was a disgrace. Man gets hit upside the head 54 times with a police baton talking about can we just all get along. Okay, and what it is, Black family, the time has come for us to say later for these other groups. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of arguing with these troglodyte Neanderthal brain dead motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? They don't listen to no reasoning. You see, the cracker, he's always got some smart ass comment when you hit him with some truth. You say, but there was so long ago. Well, the Irish and all that, fuck the Irish. The motherfuckers are slave traders also. They owned us. Why do you think you got so many slave names of Black people? McNally, McWilliams, McNeil, okay, Shaughnessy. I can go on and on and on and on and on. But when you tell them this, okay, these crackers, well, it was your own goddamn people that sold yourself into slavery. Biggest fucking lie ever told. Because once they got to Gory Island, they got knocked in the head and thrown off in them damn coffins too. And then that's when really the fireworks hit. Then they say, well, the Irish and all that. Fuck y'all. That's what all I could say. Because, see, we are on business in this particular day and time here in the first quarter of the 21st century. You see what I'm saying? And the day of the ass scratcher, the Yassa boss, the coon, those days are over. And I land my plane on that one.
I'm going to get to the first topic then, and that is reparations in Baltimore. Is Baltimore's Reparations Committee a fraud? So our good Professor Black Truth going to give us an update on that. And April is no Blacc Media Appreciation Month, all April long, including 420. It is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. The place to be for 420, you guys, I'm going to tell you, the place to be for that today would be Golden Gate Park. You know what I'm saying? In San Francisco. Yeah. I attended a couple of those sessions. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say Civic Center Park, Denver, but yeah, Golden State Park is really crazy.
Yeah, Golden Gate Park. It's kind of like the Western version of Central Park. And as we all know, Jack Johnson got many speeding tickets in Golden Gate Park because he used to like to race. And then when the San Francisco PD give him a ticket, he would tell him, well, man, you might as well give me 2 because I'm going to be speeding this way. Then I'm going to be speeding again.
And they used to give him like $500 tickets. And he would give him 1,000 because he's speeding back.
Yeah, exactly. You see, and Jack Johnson, you know, to quote the words of the greatest, that nigga was bad. That nigga was bold. That nigga was crazy. He didn't have no black Muslims or Black Panthers to protect him at the time.
No, he didn't.
But, however, it was a well-known fact that he used to chase Nabisco women. And thus, in turn, that's why the Mann Act came into fruition. And it's not so much the act was named because Jack Johnson was a man. The congressman who introduced the bill was Mann, M-A-N-N. You see? Okay. So keep that there in mind, you know. And Fresh always get along. He got paid, did some crazy things. Yeah, he did. And one thing I'll always respect and appreciate Jack Johnson for is beating the living dog shit out of the Great White Hope on the 4th of July. Hey, what's up, cow dog? It's raining out your way today?
Yeah,
because I saw the weather report where California is about to get slammed. Hey, the Ashbury. Yeah, I know it well. Yeah, that's where they had the infamous Summer of Love of 1967, and there used to be a club over there. What was the name of that damn club? Because I'm passing right by it, and that's where they had the white girl, Janis Joplin, give her last concert before she OD'd. Yeah, and then also, too, at that time in history, that's where you had old Mr. Sly Stone and the family Stone, you know, with Larry Graham, his sister Cynthia on the trumpets, you know what I mean? And it was called Dance to the Music. It was a big hit. Then they did this. Dance to the Music was one. Also, to Everyday People. There's Day people, oh, yeah. Different foes for different foes, different strokes for different folks. So on and shooby dooby dooby. But I'm not one to judge Mr. Sly Stone, although he's spending a lot of time loaded, and that's back at that time when they had that shit. And I was speaking to the doctor because they're getting ready to send me to the psychologist because they say I'm crazy. And I told them what I have is post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Yeah.
And the doctor's mouth fell open. What? And he's a psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever. I said, hey, man, no disrespect to your profession, but isn't it true that Sigmund Freud was always high on dope, you know? And he said, yeah. And I said, wasn't he also a gay motherfucker too? He said, yeah. So how's an individual who don't like women gonna tell me, a heterosexual man, about mental health between heterosexual men and women? It don't add up, man. That there's like me telling the world that my stupid ass can fly the space shuttle. You see what I'm saying? Y'all gonna look at me, man, Shabaka, your ass is old and senile, and you be wise. Tell me that. So then
all right.
No.
Let's get to this video. So this is Professor Black Truth. He's gonna give us an update on Is Baltimore's Reparations Committee a fraud?
Well, you sound terrible, Lady Che. Get that lime juice.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the professor, and this is the moment of truth. Ever since the Black grassroots forced the issue of reparations into the political discourse, there have been a lot of people who have been wondering what would white power do in order to try to stop it or derail it. A lot of people said that they wouldn't even discuss it at all. Well, as I have been telling you for years, actually, they would do the opposite. They would actually try to flood the zone with all kinds of propaganda and false stories. Instead of saying that reparations is the single biggest evil in the world like Douglas Murray, instead they would do the opposite. They would say, why, we've already given you people reparations. That's what they would say instead when Black folks got bold about it. In fact, they're now pushing the idea that just about anything ought to qualify as reparations. From Fox News, of all people, they reported millions in reparations money remains unused in Baltimore as officials battle over who gets control, according to a local report. Now you read that and the first thing that you think is, wait a minute, did Maryland or Baltimore approve reparations payouts to its FBA residents? That's exactly how you're supposed to be misinformed by this. But of course, this is not about slavery reparations at all. The white media reported that the $35 million in revenue from the recreational cannabis tax has not reached residents of Baltimore yet due to infighting between City Hall and the Community Reinvestment and Reparations Committee. Now that's almost a masterpiece of weasel words. Claiming that the money from cannabis taxes hasn't reached residents yet. The residents aren't going to get anything anyway. Nobody's going to be given a check. When they say reach residents, do you want to know what they mean? Well, according to this Fox News story, the revenue was intended to reinvest in communities affected by the war on drugs, an initiative pushed by President Richard Nixon in 1971. And that's basically what they've been saying about that. Well, since Maryland legalized recreational cannabis 3 years ago, not a single dollar has reached the people it was meant to help, and the first round of funding may still be a year away, according to a local report. City Hall says the mayor has final say, while the Community Reinvestment and Reparations Commissioners maintain that their organization was created to independently manage the funds. That holdup means that while Maryland's legalization of cannabis in 2023 led to over $1.1 billion in sales over the following year alone, even as Black communities continue to be targeted by the drug war, none of it has helped repair that damage. Howard disputed that characterization and said that the city designated the Office of Equity and Civil Rights to administer the $5 million in support of the commission's work. City Hall did not respond to Fox News' request for comment, but the Baltimore City Office of Equity and Civil Rights sent Fox News a statement saying, as required by state law, funds can only be distributed after a formal plan is released and a public hearing is conducted. The city's goal is to work with the commission to complete those steps as soon as possible, after which initial funding announcements can be made. The city and the commission are currently working together to develop a timeline and distribution strategy as well. Now, ordinarily, I might say something like there's a whole lot of bureaucrats in the city of Baltimore standing between the residents and their reparations, but of course, that's not what this is about. This is not about reparations at all. You got a city office of equity and civil rights and a community reinvestment and reparations commission, and neither one with any real authority and clearly no real mission profile either. This is why reparations as anything other than payments directly to the descendants of freedmen is a lie. And isn't it amazing how the same bootlicking sellout Negroes who never said a peep about reparations when they were in political office and that they won't even say it publicly, certainly not to any white Democrats, these same Black politicians and bureaucrats are only too glad to be holding up the funds and no doubt lining their own pockets with them. But the white media is also glad to see the money being tied up by their flunkies. Fox News wrote, Baltimore will follow several states and local municipalities looking to implement reparations to some degree. Many have proposed compensation to rectify historical harms to Black Americans, including those affected by slavery. Including those affected by slavery? You see what white power likes to do? Trying to shoehorn everybody in there? We see that mentioning reparations in the white media is not political poison. It's not something that they're going to say, oh, we can't even print that. No, the white media is reporting on this simply as a matter of fact. And heads aren't exploding, but this is the white media trying to contain the issue by intentionally manufacturing a new false definition of what should constitute reparations. Notice how they conflate historical harms to Black Americans in general, like the drug war, to slavery, which is what reparations is actually meant to stem from. Everyone who was in the lineage that suffered slavery is not the same as those immigrants and the people who showed up later and were affected by the drug war in the late 20th century. And it's no accident that Fox News decided that they were going to mention that fraud in Evanston. This is the white media trying to conjure magic and declaring that their fraud is in fact genuine, that the Nothing Burger hoax in Evanston is actually paying reparations to Black residents. Housing vouchers, money for city infrastructure, so a white-owned mortgage company or bank gets that housing voucher money. The Black resident doesn't. They can't use it however they wish. White power tells them off the bat, oh no, you're not getting any money. This is a voucher. Whoever you give this voucher to, whoever we authorize you to give the voucher to, that's the person who will be getting money. And who is that? It's going to be a white person who owns the mortgage company that you're going to give this housing voucher to. Right. It's going to be the white-owned bank that you'll be giving this housing voucher to as you desperately try to get some sort of mortgage. And white companies are the ones who are going to be getting the money to do any sort of repairs in Baltimore, because that's what they're talking about. This is just basically a clumsy front for the same old city infrastructure redevelopment, the same old urban renewal, community development. Basically, it's the slightly less ugly cousin to gentrification is what they mean. White power gives itself money and then claims that it was a gift to you. You're not going to get a penny in your pocket. White power will have all the money in theirs, and the white media will lie through their teeth and say that somehow you benefited from this. But they know it's a lie, though they also know that the Al Sharptons, the NAACPs, and other bootlicks aren't going to call this out. See, with every other group, if someone says that they're getting money, their spokespeople are going to say, well, we need more than that. This is what happened after the Holocaust. They demanded continued payouts. They didn't let the Germans or any of those other European countries who they felt had a hand in the Holocaust get away with a single payout. They said, no, once you got the wallets open, it's going to stay open till we're satisfied. You don't see these phony frauds the white media puts in front of their cameras doing anything like that. You don't see any of these bootlick misleaders saying that, do you? You don't let white power tell you what policy is. You must insist on guiding policy. And when you look at the Community Reinvestment and Reparations Commission's website, well, basically their mission, the things that they say are going to be the, quote, allowable uses of the Community Reinvestment and Reparations Fund, basically reads like the same old boilerplate DNC platform. Education, scholarships, they say, economic development, we all know that's an empty nothing, housing, healthcare, community-based initiatives, infrastructure. And I'm sitting here looking at this and going, yeah, anything other than making sure that the money makes it to the people of Baltimore, because obviously these bureaucrats and these politicians who have done such a great job at guiding the city to prosperity and safety, these are the people who you want to put more money in the hands of, right? Because the citizens couldn't possibly do a better job than the politicians have, right? See, some patching a few potholes or whatever, that's what the NAACP settles for, because they usually have some office somewhere, and they hope to raise the real estate values by getting the city to repair infrastructure, but they can't even be bothered to push for even that. They're expecting the DNC or whatever other white political influence peddlers they work for to eventually do something for them. But this is the shrieking fraud that we see the white right trying to push, and you see the white left not doing any pushing back, to call tax revenues from marijuana sales reparations. It's like how all these states claim that gambling money will help the states to fund schools and roads and basically everything. Well, gambling has generated billions of dollars in every state that has it. And yet the schools are still dilapidated, and in many cases, the cities are closing the schools altogether. So much for gambling loot propping up the school budgets. And I don't have to tell you how the roads are crumbling and the bridges are collapsing, and for the few bridges still standing, you cross them at your own risk. And on a side note, just to show you how unserious this Office of Equity and Civil Rights and the Baltimore City Community Reinvestment and Reparations Commission is, if you take a look at the top right-hand corner of their website, what do you see? You see some little old ad for the 31st Annual Civil Rights Breakfast. Yeah, that's exactly how all of these do-nothing organizations are, from the National Action Network to the NAACP to this Reparations Committee. All of these fools, they have their little breakfast and lunch. They're just hungry as hell, not hungry for justice, but just hungry as hell. They show up, they stuff their faces and pretend like they're doing something. That's all they do. Every one of them trying to have some sort of meal. Well, it's going to be the spring breakfast and the summer luncheon and the fall fish fry. This is supposed to be what passes for Black leadership. These are the very people who we're supposed to believe are actually dedicated to making sure that the people of Baltimore get the reparations that they're due. And these are the people who see themselves as being the smartest Negroes in the room. They're the talented 10th. Well, I suppose having gotten away with pulling the wool over people's eyes as long as they have, that's got to count as some sort of talent, right? But this is just another reminder of why reparations must take the form of a check and why we have to push back when the white media tries to flood the zone with these lies. This idea of reparations being something that is handed to a third party and that this third party will just do something with it for the so-called common good, that is a lie. And the people advocating for it know it. This is a game of economic keep away that they're trying to play. And also notice how the white right in particular is very eager to label this as reparations. Now, of course, when these people in Baltimore say reparations, it's part of the overall title of their little commission. This isn't a slavery reparations commission. What it is basically your same old city redevelopment fund scheme. That's all it is. This is what I warned you about years ago, that as the grassroots continue to push the issue of reparations, that instead of seeing hyper-aggressive attempts to silence us, instead we would see all kinds of weasel words and liars who would be claiming that everything is reparations. School vouchers is reparations, housing vouchers are reparations, the NBA is reparations. That's what the white right has been saying for like 100 some odd years. Why we shouldn't have to do anything for you Negroes. Why the NBA? Why the NBA? There's reparations. That proves that there's no racism. Anything except a check handed to the aggrieved parties. They do that deliberately to redefine reparations as anything but money. And this is an idea that appeals to the anti-Black racists because they're in on the joke. They know that only money is reparations and that depriving us of that money that we're owed means the racial status quo that they benefit from stays in place. Nobody's fooled. They know exactly what they're doing, keeping the racial pyramid standing. If this was genuine reparations, you wouldn't see Fox News having a little tame, timid headline like this. Instead, they would be screeching from the rooftops, somebody's got to stop these guys, and we're going to name names. You politicians who are going along with this, we're going to see what we can do to get you guys primaried or out of office. That's what they would be doing if this was an actual reparations plan. But they know that it's not. They know this is the same old thing that gets brought up every few years. It's just another community redevelopment scheme, urban renewal, and everybody knows that. And because of the fact that the city of Baltimore hasn't even gotten to the point where they can even give the money to themselves, it just goes to show how fake and phony that it is. Well, you shouldn't be fooled. This is not reparations. Unless the money is changing hands from theirs to yours, you cannot say that there's been any sort of repair made. And don't let anyone ever try to pull that line on you about, well, we don't know how these Black people would spend the money. They never do that with any other group. Nobody told the Japanese who have been interned in those concentration camps in the U.S., well, we can't give you guys a check. Why? We don't know how you people will spend the money. Nobody was saying, oh, you red Indians, we can't give your white $5 Indian chiefs any of this money. Why? We don't know how you guys are going to spend it. Well, you could blow all of it on firewater for all we know. They don't do that with any other group. And they dang sure didn't tell the Holocaust survivors, well, we don't know how you guys are going to spend the money. The only people who ever hear that is us. We're the only ones they ever pull that line out with. And that's because they want to see how many silly Negroes are going to go along with it. Look, we knew from the very beginning that this was not going to be a matter of anybody just rolling over. The bad guys are going to try to do what they do, which is they attempt to try to demoralize us by slowing down the process to a crawl as best they can, try to throw every conceivable roadblock and stumbling block in our path, anything that they think will buy time in the hopes that we will do what every other generation of Black folks before us did, which was to eventually just walk away. We have a bad track record of that, of being consistently inconsistent. That's what they're testing to see. And they're going to be having their own Negro bootlicks out there, not surprisingly, Democrats, who are going to be the ones doing this. Notice these are not Republicans doing this stuff. This is happening in a Democratic city. So what does that tell you about what the Democrats really think about reparations? When Kamala Harris said, I'm not going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people, she wasn't just speaking for her own failed campaign. She was speaking for the Democratic Party. And that's the reason why we withhold our vote. These guys are not putting anything tangible in our hands, and they're making it a point that in their little enclaves, they're going to be stonewalling the very things that we've demanded. Now, what the hell will we look like putting power and money in the hands of people who are doing everything that they can to keep our money out of our hands? They're not trying to enrich us, so what the hell would I look like trying to enrich them? So what this represents is yet another example of the white right and white left using their Black flunkies to try to hold off what they see as being the floodgates kicked open. That's the reason why it's important that they not set the precedent of, here's an example of an actual body who is handing Black people the checks that they're actually due. Because once you introduce the idea that Black people can get the kind of tangible resources that we need directly to us, just like all these other groups keep getting, then that's going to be changing how Black people think about elections across the board. So they're attempting to use their bootlicks and these little city alphabet organizations, these organizations that have these names that are a mile long and mean absolutely nothing. These are going to be the people who they use to try to find a way to hardline us and tell us, well, you'll just have to wait until we get around to it. I mean, there's going to have to be some procedures. There's going to have to be like some public hearings. That's what they're sitting here doing. That's what they're telling us. Well, what we should be telling them is, if you guys are going to insist on continuing to do white power's dirty work and refuse to cut the check, well, those disaffected Black voters, they just might get the idea that on election day, they actually will show up for one day only to cut your political career short. Good day and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors: Osiris Sprauve, Daryl Reynolds, Deborah Cooper, MR, and NLR Forever. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
All right, Shabaka, the fix is in. What's your thoughts on Baltimore's Reparations Committee?
Okay. The fix is in, and they're going to use that as an example to put more fixes in across the country at the state and local level. And the main one who's going to pick it up is going to be California.
Well, California already did it.
Yeah. Who knows? That's probably where he got the blueprint for it. You see, because although California was not a slave state, it did benefit greatly off of slave labor during the gold rush. Okay, right. So they're going to put this here in the East, mainly in the slave states, you know, Maryland, Virginia, Georgia, the Carolinas, Tennessee, what have you. Then you're going to have all these fucking Nabiscos going to come out here. Well, you know, that there was so long ago and what have you. And I do recommend that if you're on social media and get into it with the Nabiscos on the issue, delete and block, okay? It's because they're going to use it as a way of you saying hate speech to tear down your page. They did it to you. They did it to me. They did it to countless others. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, so, you know, just block those Nabiscos and a few more of those American sad asses, you know, is coming up there with that shit. You know, I sent you the clip on that, okay? Yeah. And they're going to sit up there. He's the greatest thing going, like ass scratcher up there. I'm not going to say his name, okay? You know, President Trump is the greatest president. I said what I said, and I say, nigga, quit yassa bossing, man. I mean, can we have a day? I mean, I'm going to say a day on mainstream media and on social media. You know, the call it no yassa bossing day. Yeah, we got to have a no yassa bossing day. And then you get these other Negroes up there. Well, if the color of my skin don't offend you, can we be friends? and I invited them to come up on the platform. They declined. I communicated with them. They don't want to hear what I say. And then, like I said, there's this brother by the name of Rig Martin that goes around with his digital media carrying a flag in a military suit that says "fuck ICE," okay, and fuck Trump, and those were for you who voted for, right? So they're going on this brother talking about he's disrespecting the uniform and all this. Then they try to go on me. Oh, well, we're all the same. And I says, well, look, troglodyte, come bring your ass out here to Nevada in 2 months. Yeah, because 2 months from now will be the summer solstice, the first day of summer, the longest day of the year. And we'll have a wind chill, man, of about 121 degrees. You know what I mean? But they don't never want to take up my invitation to sit out in the sun. I wonder why.
The sun dodges.
Precisely my point. Then you get the Yasa bosses talking about the rape and slave trading pedophiles. I violated their family line and they consider it a blessing. You know, just like that stupid ass broad man who got up there and talked dumb shit. She thanks God for slavery because if she was still in Africa, she would be worshiping the tree. Dumb bunny broad. Yeah, dumb bunny broad. A tree is to be worshipped is because the tree gives off oxygen, which keeps your ignorant, stupid, slave-minded black ass alive. But they call that, when I said hate speech. They call that hate speech.
Let's hear from Keezy.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, man, that's very interesting to look at, man. Very interesting to look at because, like you guys just said, other people, other areas.
Okay, cool, Keezy, you with us, sir?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
You can't hear me?
Oh, yes, sir. Now we can hear you very much so. Yes, sir. Hear you loud and clear.
I was just saying that I agree with kind of what you were saying at first. Is like it's gonna be, you know, a standard that everybody follows. That hey, let's finesse these people and give them some, you know, nonsense. We determine what should be reparations for these people, and we're gonna pretend like we didn't hear anything about that cash payments demand that is just loud and clear everywhere you turn. Everybody's telling you what our demands are, and you coming back with something that's not our demand. So that's definitely not gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work, and I don't think that's a good look for them.
Right.
It should be called out at every step and turn. Whoever's responsible for it needs to be put on the Summer Jam screen. Yep. That's what I got. I'm gonna land my plane.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lady Tay. You know, Lady Tay is asleep now.
Okay, and also too, Brother Che, not getting off topic, I said I sent you an email about the digital flyer where they're talking about, where they're going to commemorate the anniversary for Ms. Latasha Harlins is on the heart of the East Side, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody's going to be there, you know what I mean? And what have you.
Flyer up so they can see it.
Yes, sir. And then going, you know, for the sake of our listeners who do not know how the case of Latasha Harlins was resolved, which I believe was another thing that contributed to the rebellion in 1992, is that if she was shot in the back of the head, okay, and the person that shot and killed her was only given 5 years summary probation. Repeat, 5 years. Summary probation. And we all know what summary probation is. You don't go see the probation officer. All you got to do is just not get in trouble for 5 years.
That's it.
They say, and of course, that there was one of the elements that started the rebellion in 1992, Cochise. And then when the truck driver, Reginald Denny, got his ass whooped, the way I heard it from the hood over there, that he was going through the intersection on Florence and Normandy saying, "Good for you niggas."
Yep.
And you can't repeat that. And he did. And
I mean,
he got worked over.
You know what? That 5 years thing, that sounds easy and everything, but it ain't. That's like, basically holding a heavy ball that's chained to your neck, because basically you're gonna get in something in 5 years. You're getting crap. There's no way they're gonna set you up. You walk out your house and get, accused of a crime, and they start wanting to pat you down and do all that stuff. It's easy to catch a charge that you didn't even do. So that 5 years, they know what they're doing with that, because you'll catch a charge quick by doing nothing.
Yes, sir.
You don't even be having to do nothing.
And then, Keezy, and keep in mind is that the 5 years is up. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's because she was killed in 1991, 2 months before the Rodney King beating was taped out of Foothill Division of the Lapdogs. You see what I mean? And the cold part about it is, based on the evidence of what you see in the video, Cool Keezy, I'm sure you've seen it, where she left the money on the counter and the orange juice in question, okay, is because what had happened was that the
they still shot her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what had happened was the woman had grabbed her.
Shot her in the back, too.
Yeah. Now, here's the cold part. Before that happened, is that the woman had grabbed her, you see what I'm saying, back and forth on her garment. So she unleashed the overhand right that decked her, left the orange juice, left the money, and de-escalated the situation by leaving and got shot and killed.
Yep.
See?
I got the flyer.
And that's the flyer right
I
there.
don't think that couldn't possibly work out like that today, man, because people gonna turn up real heavy to do that.
Oh yeah. And then I believe, from what I understand, man, from my research, is that particular location where this happened at, man, was burned to the ground during a rebellion. Okay, that's what they referred to as.
Yeah, they rolled out. They rolled out on that. There's unreported stuff that happened. Well, they were tearing.
Okay, and just
brothers and sisters were tearing. Man, it went so hard till Tupac was rapping about that.
Right.
Yes, sir. And then, just like Cal Dog says right here, that he was right about that. Reginald Denny, the truck driver that got his ass whooped, went through that intersection of Florence and Normandy talking shit. You see what I'm saying?
Ice Cube was rapping about that. Hit him with a brick and I'm dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then, from what I understand, if memory serves me correctly, I think it was a brother that dragged him out the intersection and drove his double dump cement truck out of the intersection. You see, it's because when you go eastbound on Florence Avenue, man, you're going into the industrial sections of LA County, the warehouses, the construction places, all the trucking terminals and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? And then when you get out there, it turns into Firestone Boulevard. You see what I mean? And then the cold part about it is that we're supposed to allow ourselves to be abused, but we're not supposed to give back any type of resistance. And I believe, Brother Che, you had stated, man, a few months back, man, for a slave to resist his slave master's abuse and to want freedom was a sign of mental illness, I believe, brother.
Yep, they called it dreptomania.
Dreptomania. That's crazy. I definitely don't suffer from that condition.
Yes, sir. Now there's the left hook followed by the right hand, left hook, overhand right, left hook, uppercut, overhand right syndrome. And that there was Mr. Ali's famous float like a butterfly, sting like a bee combination. Yes, sir. But It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then when they go see me to talk to these psychological people, oh, I'm going to have a ball with them. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I can record some of it, but I don't think they will. You see?
Hey, I'm telling you, man, we all have the right to defend ourselves, and it don't matter who it is. You should never let nobody harm you. You should always defend yourself at all costs.
Yeah, because even Amaru got the right to defend himself. God gave him some claws.
Right.
Man, God gave you your fish, your feet, your mind. You see what I'm saying? Because you got physical warfare, psychological warfare, and spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
See, but we just supposed to be there. God's a boss. Hit me upside my head some more. I love it. God's a boss. Just like when the raping, slave trading pedophiles will get our young 13, 14, 15-year-old girls, you know, for the slave masters to give to their sons to violate, they would beat them and telling the young girl, oh, that they like getting beat. Then the slave master tried to do that to our man, Freddie D. You know what I mean? And Freddie D took that whip from a man and whooped his ass just like you saw Jamie Foxx and Django.
Yep, just like that.
Yeah, you see? But we're supposed to be, guys are bossing and you the boss, all that bullshit. But if you and I go out here and try to kill each other and all this old type of stuff, oh, that's just normal life in the hood.
Why drinking your juice? Yeah.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? But as soon as we say something like, don't kill each other, oh, now all of a sudden you're a threat. Just like the brother Tony Pico that we had mentioned, Brother Chael, a few years back.
Yeah.
See, you know, and it would be common for the LAPD to pick you up in one hood and then drop you off, man, clear across town in another hood that you're at war with. You see?
Yeah, that was notorious for that.
Yeah,
they did it, and different police does that too. They used to do that kind of stuff too, and they like start rumors and start little beefs between hoods.
Right.
They use them snitches real good. Them snitches really destroyed everything, and that goes into the Yassa boss you explained.
Yes,
the Yassa
sir.
boss is
And
the
then
biggest snitch in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then just like, man, if you ever saw the movie Colors with Sean Penn and Robert Duvall, Sean Penn was Pac-Man. He portrayed the typical crash officer all the way down to the point where he handcuffed that dude and hit him. Ask me how I know about crash. I've been jacked up by him enough, you know?
Right. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next topic. And that is Gatekeepers in Black America will not get out the way so younger people can lead, and here's why. So Uncle Phil will give us an update on that.
Okay.
Way they causing problems. You know, we trying to progress and they're against it. They are literally no different than the white liberal against us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Why won't they get out the way? And I understand your frustration, but we're gonna talk about why they won't get out the way and what you could do to actually get them out the way. Because let me say this up front. They're not gonna leave that position willingly. And I'm going to tell you why. I want to give you logical reasons why they're just not going to leave those positions willingly. Number one, the most easiest way to answer you is the money too good. Why would they leave that much money for the likes of you and the likes of me? Why would they do that? Just willingly. Let's look at Al Sharpton. Why would he walk away from getting $500,000 from Kamala or more that year that we may not even know about that he got to go do what? What is Al Sharpton really going to do outside of what he's doing now? And he's going to walk away from all that money and all that prestige that he has to go do what? Be a greeter at Walmart? To go do what? Go work at Target? And you gonna tell Al Sharpton that he got to walk away from all that and give it to you? He's not doing that. And to even say that he or any of them is going to do that, y'all need to stop saying that. That doesn't even make logical sense. That'll be like you being on your job for like 20 years. And there's some little young person that just got out of college. And they say, hey, you know, hey, Netta, you're gonna have to go ahead and let this little young woman come in and take your spot. And you know, you just have to move on because you know, you kind of in a way now. So, you know, we got to bring her on. You're like, whoa, bring her. Why is she gonna take my spot for? I've been here 20 years. I'm not leaving my spot. I want y'all to get good and ready. Well, this much you will be offended if your job was trying to bring in a younger person just to replace you, not because you did anything wrong, just because they're younger. That's the same thing that how they thinking. First of all, they thinking you don't know anything. I'm just telling you how they think. You don't know anything. Two, the second part is they're comfortable. When you get older like that, the last thing you're trying to do is disrupt your life. You like more peace, quiet, and no disruptions of your money or your time. When you're younger, you're not focusing on that. You focusing on turning up. You focus on you got more of a zeal. You got more of a fight because you haven't got to that point in your life yet where you just want things to be comfortable because you didn't do what you think you needed to do in your life. Okay. So the frustration a lot of people are having, say, well, why don't they get out of the way? The money's too good. You know, you look at Boule Martin and all of them. You look at him, how he fights so hard for the Democrat Party. But you got to think about that. The Democrat Party keeps him paid. Once again, what are he supposed to go do? Work at McDonald's? And all that money he just got from Kamala last election? Think about it. He gets to get a $350,000 bag that we know of. Now, we ain't talking about the other bag he getting that we don't know. The Democrat Party and all the organizations keep money in his back pocket. Why would he walk away from that? For what? Yeah, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. He has to be made to walk away from it. He's not going to walk away from it willingly. Now, so one, they're not going to walk away because the money's too good. Two, the ego. They got egos, and the more and more they're part of organizations and all these other things, ego comes in. Then you know, the white validation thing comes in too. A lot of them, you know, like white validation, and they get that from the folks, right? So you're dealing with ego, you're dealing with money. And then these organizations they're part of, you know, that they are part of the elite class of blacks, right? So you're dealing with all of that. And usually the elite class of blacks don't really step away for anybody, especially that is in their minds beneath them. See, all of us are beneath them. You understand? People, I'm using Boule Martin because he's like the most noticeable figure. But people like Boule Martin feel that people like myself and others shouldn't have an audience, shouldn't have a right because we didn't go to school like him and we didn't go through the organizations that he went through and we didn't put in the time and we didn't do this and that and the third, you know, the old model. And let me say something to y'all about that. Whether it's journalism, music, or whatever, the old model's dead. I know you work decades. I know you put in time. I know, but that era of I put in time, I should be here, that era's done. It's done. In journalism, it's done. It's really done in music. It's done. You could cry all day about what you've done for years. It's done. It's over with. It's like me crying about where YouTube used to be in 2009 and it's 2026. I would love YouTube to be back what it was in 2009, 2010, 12, whatever.
It's right. And I was telling you that, Brother Che, 2 weeks ago.
Or are you going to wither on the vine? That's really all it's going to be. So all that crying about what you did years ago, nobody care about that. You did that for yourself. You didn't do that for the community. So stop telling everybody what you did. And I'm not dismissing you. I'm just telling you, you got to adapt. I'm telling you 5-6 years ago, YouTube isn't the same today. We didn't have all this AI moderation. We didn't have a gang of people on YouTube years ago. We got a gang of people on YouTube now. The pandemic created that issue. Gang of people. Everybody got a microphone now. When people are like, I don't know about that. Now everybody got a microphone. Either you adapt to where the market's going, or you wither on the vine. That's really what it is. I'm just giving you practical advice. You don't have to take my advice, but I'm giving you some game for free. Journalism, music, the game's changed. Now, some of them feel they should have audiences. They shouldn't have opportunity to do books. They shouldn't have opportunity because they didn't go through. Well, that day is done. So now we are here. And so the biggest fight is you have the old guard fighting for the old system, and they look at people like us as part of the new way of doing things. And we don't believe in symbolism. We believe in substance. We believe in tangibles. We believe in transactional voting. The old system say just show up to vote and hope the politician do something for you. And the problem they're having is their bag is attached to the black vote showing up, if that makes sense. The black vote showing up is how they get paid. And when you have the new system saying, no, I'm not voting for you unless I get something out of the deal. What did Boule Martin say the other day? That, well, you have to vote for the people and get promises from them, and then you just hope they do it, basically, but you can't get nothing before the election. And you can't get a vote before the election either. See, that's that old defeatist, just show up to vote because mentality. And what a lot of Black Americans are saying, no, Boule Martin, we're not doing that. Okay. You're going to give us something and then we'll come, it's a quid pro quo relationship, right? It's a transactional relationship. You want my vote? No problem. Well, this is what I need to get it. It's no more one-way relationship. And the Democrat Party has had a one-way relationship with Black America for a very long time. And Black Americans today are saying, I don't care if that person's so-called Black, right? They better do something too. Because the so-called Black governor, Wes Moore, right? They passed a reparations study bill, not even payment study. He vetoed it. So let me give you an example. That's symbolism. Don't even equal to anything. So we can't even go on, oh, that person Black. They're going to do. Listen, Barack Obama ruined that. Right? When everybody voted for Obama, especially the first time, and say, oh, man, that's a brother. Man, oh, shoot, it's going to be good now because, man, that brother going to clamp down on these racists. That brother going to deal with all these police. He going to do this. Yeah, we coming out there. But that's why Obama got so many votes. Because Black people genuinely felt in our heart that he was going to set things right for Black people, for sure, in this country. And oh, were we disappointed. We got a whole white man in Black skin. That's what we got. We didn't get a Black man. Because no Black man would have put up with Mitch McConnell talking to him that way, disrespecting him. Ain't no Black man would put up with that. No. But him, once later you find out his upbringing, he was raised by white folks. He wasn't raised by us. He wasn't even raised by Kenyans. You can't even say he had a Kenyan upbringing. And shout out to Kenya. That's what we got at the end of the day, telling us he not the president of Black America and all that, scolding Black people and all that. That's what we get. We got a whole white man in Black skin. Even to this day, he's still acting like that. In the Texas race, right? And I seen Jasmine Crockett's live stream the other day. Jasmine Crockett kind of feel bad for her. You can see that win is out her cell a little bit. Obama sat up there and go endorse Tallarico, who didn't even come talk to the Black community. Didn't even talk to us in Texas during the primary. You endorsed a guy that didn't want to talk to Black people. Like I said, that's what I say. I look at him no different as I look at a white man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you remember that time when he went to try to talk to Black men? Well, I don't come up here and talk to the brothers. Like the way you even said that don't even sound like how a Black man would talk.
Right.
The brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, aren't you one? What you mean the brothers?
Right.
You should basically come in and just holler at them, right? You know, some of y'all may like him, and that's fine. But I'm sorry, he done too much for me. I don't respect that. I don't respect his political moves at all. At all. And it's not about, he ain't not on code for nothing. He not.
Right.
Ain't no way, even about, listen, like this how I feel. I'm going to be on code with the black person. If I can't agree with the black person, I'll just keep my mouth shut. I wouldn't, even if I had an issue, let's say if I was him in his position, even if I had an issue with Jasmine Crockett, I still would have had to support her. Because I'm have to support the black woman. I'm not going to sit up here and support this dude that didn't even talk to black people. How would that look on me as a black man that this dude didn't even talk to black people? And that's a dude I'm supporting. And in the end, she got to see she was screwed over by her own party. It wasn't the Republicans that screwed her over. I mean, well, the district, whatever. It was the Democrat Party that screwed her over. She realized it in the end. She realized it. That's why I tell black people, don't do nothing performing for these people because they don't like any of us. Y'all try to put it all on all the Republicans. They the racist. No. That party y'all been voting for 60 years is just as, I say they even more anti-black. And how many times that a brother brought something up to me yesterday. He said, if you go look at all the ethics and corruption charges, go look at how many of them are black women. And I'm like, whoa. Because I don't think about all them charges they've been putting on black women in the Democrat Party. He said, how many white women you see them constantly doing that to? I'm like, oh, shoot. And shout out to brother that talked to me about that yesterday. I didn't think of it that way. They had no respect for black women either, at all. They just want to use black women's voice and their passion and their fire to get them over the finish line. And then once they're done, they're like, we don't care about black women. Forget them. The real Doc Holliday, I don't want to see that. The real Doc Holliday, Doc Holliday, we got more to worry about. I mean, it's nothing that individual says that's going to change
and
anything.
Guess what Doc Holliday died at?
We got work to do over here, okay? So they're not going to take a step out of that position. Just understand that. Now, when we go come back, we're going to talk about more reasons why, and then what you can do, right? And a lot of things you can do doesn't take much or nothing to get them out of those positions, but it's going to take more than just talking about them on these platforms to get them out of that position. So we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, and yeah.
It's the Unity Reunion Parade, Cookout, Line Dance Party, Backyard, Barbecue, Fish Fry, Vegan Soul, Black Business, Food Truck, Networking, Outdoor, Concert, Music Festival, Celebration of the Year.
It is an amazing experience. You have people from all over the country.
This is my second year attending, and they over-delivered.
So if you haven't come before, you need to come.
Hey, you know what? I'm just out here vibing.
Get tickets now at OhioBlackExpo.com.
I stayed longer than I should have. Not because I was weak, but because I loved for real. That's what this album sounds like. Love Illimitable. Out now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So let's get back into our conversation about these people and why they won't get out the way, right? Or you feel like they should be moving out of the way, because you have to think about it with reparations. Reparations is, listen, they are employed by the white liberal to maintain that system. And the system is you don't get reparations. So, of course, Al Sharpton, Boule Martin, and all the gang, of course, they're against reparations because they pay masters against reparations. They're there to defend the interest of the white liberal. That's what they're there to do. They're there to keep the white liberal in power by bringing in black voters. And if they bring in black voters, remember, they're gatekeepers. They bring in black voters, then they say, okay, Al, here's a check. See, they do that for their checks, right? But they're against you getting yours. They don't want you with a check. They don't want to. Listen, if them white liberals today told them, you know what? We're not paying you a dime no more. You know, but still do what you do. They'll quit. They'll quit today. They get paid for that. I never forget that video of Boule Martin when he took a video and he was crying crocodile tears in the 2020 election when black people lined up to go vote. That man, I said, why is that man crying like that? And I didn't understand why he was crying like that. I mean, he had just red eyes and everything. And then after Kamala and them got in office, I noticed, man, he had a big upgrade on his studio. And I'm like, oh, so he was crying because the bag was coming. That was tears of joy. That wasn't tears of sadness. He like, oh man, I'm getting a bag. Oh yeah, you know that's what that was. There was tears of joy. It had nothing to do with the election. He was happy. If y'all remember that video, he was so happy. That's what he is paid to do, ladies and gentlemen. He's paid to make sure that y'all, us, help them keep their bag, but they don't want us to get reparations. So they stand against our money, but they want theirs. Now, let's get to the next part. How do you actually move them out of the way? Since you want them out of the way so bad, how do they, what'd you say? You've been saying for some years that without Michelle and the children, Obama's practically Beto O'Rourke. I can't even say he's Beto O'Rourke. Beyond which, I can't even say that. But anyway, but if you say he is, he is. Now, it's going to take some, listen, these microphones are great. They're great for messaging. They're great for narrative. They're great for countering narratives. They're great for speaking against propaganda. They're great at reaching people that we could have never reached, right? These microphones are great. They're great for repetition of a message, which is very good because if you can keep repeating a message enough, it gets into the subconscious of the mind. And if it's in the subconscious of the mind, it's going to get in the forefront of the mind. And if it gets in the mind, you're going to get action, period. This is why they spend so much money on media. Media, if he who or she who controls the mind, controls the body, controls the spending, controls everything. That's why the folks make sure to try to cut us out of it as much as possible and defend it at all costs. Because media is warfare too, not just bullets and bombs. It is warfare. Why you think every nation has its own propaganda, including ours? Because that's part of warfare. And they're not going to, the mainstream media for sure are not going to give that up. But how we did the mainstream media is how you actually do the shields that we talk about all the time. We've done it in part, but we haven't fully done it. Now, first step to getting them, quote unquote, out the way is delegitimization. If you look at the mainstream media today, they're not really legitimized. They're following the lead in words of what we say online in the grassroots circles. When you see the mainstream media today speaking with delineation terms like, well, this Jamaican person committed a crime. Well, this person from Ghana committed a crime. At one point in time, they was all black. But they're speaking with, oh no, they're delineating about where people are from now. That didn't come from the mainstream media. The mainstream media say all of us are black. It's easier to say everybody's black, or black American in particular, because it's just easier for them to do that. But they had to follow what we say here. Remember the ABC report when they mentioned foundational Black American history. That didn't come from the mainstream media. That came from the grassroots side. So now they're taking their cues from us, meaning we're legitimate and they're not. The only thing they have over us is more employees, definitely more resources to go do investigations and all of that. That's why they don't want us with no money. Because I tell people, you couldn't give me not even half of the money they got. Watch what I do with it. And it's not going to be go trick it off at the car dealership. It's not gonna be tricking off at no strip clubs. I don't see how anybody going them places. It's gonna be, hey, how do we maximize that little money each month and make it huge? You understand what I'm saying? Speaking of that, if you are in Atlanta, Houston, Chicago, Detroit, Charlotte, Jackson, Mississippi, thinking off the top of my head, so just forgive me. I'm just thinking off the top of my head certain cities. Birmingham, Alabama, Jacksonville, Florida. Just to name a few. NYC, just to name a few, right? Philly, just to name a few. If any of you in those cities and you that kind of person that like to go on the street and like talk to black people in the community, like say, hey man, you know, I like to go talk to black people in the community, get them on camera. It's more so just asking certain questions and letting them just cook how they want to cook. We need some people to come in to do that, right? I can't be everywhere, and it's not gonna happen. It just pops in my head. I need to say it. And sometimes I've got some of the best people in the world about just making this kind of announcement. If you think about something like that, you say, man, I love to do that. Hey, holler at me on LinkedIn. You know, yeah, come to my LinkedIn page. Say, hey, I heard what you were saying, and yeah, let me know what you got going on, because we need to talk. We need to get black people all over America for sure. If you're in Johannesburg, right, South Africa, and you like to get in the street and holler about, hey, what's going on with Malema or something, or whatever's going on in Johannesburg, hey, let us know. If you're in Nairobi, Kenya, hey, let us know. You know, just let us know, because we need to get them street interviews, because I like things in real time. And that's kind of bothering me. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of bothering me. We don't have that going on here. We need to have that. So if you're in the major cities I'm talking about, holler at me. Anyway, let's continue. So how you get them out the way? Delegitimize them, which that's kind of already has happened. But here's the second step. You're going to have to move them politically. And the point that they're beating you on, or beating the collective on, is their group will register to vote and show up to vote way more than this side will. And because they getting something out the deal. That's why. But here's the thing, it's two-pronged. You just don't go vote. That's not what you go do. First of all, everybody needs to get registered to vote, period. And then what we need to do is have candidates, whoever that we so choose, like let the community choose a candidate. And then we need to get 100% voter participation for our candidate, right? That's going to fight for our interest. And then we go and support them. It's like, look, nobody can vote for nobody else but that person. And when you get our people in, right? Same thing with the preachers, right? We got all these preachers doing wrong. You got to delegitimize them too. You got to protest them. You have to call them out. You have to expose them. All them exposed. Like I said, and some people are like, well, why are you defending Dr. Umar? I'm not defending Dr. Umar. When I made that video, but the other video I talked about Dr. Umar Johnson. No, what I was saying is Umar Johnson, you know, you can donate to him or not. But the issue is the preacher is trying to spiritually guilt you to give 10% of your revenue every week or every 2 weeks to him. And he's not out in the community doing nothing. We don't see no exposés on these preachers. And they siphoning so much money out of the black community. If we can deal with, I told you, those entities, the black preacher, the black politician, and get our own people in, right? Look, it's one thing to go and scream and yell in a meeting and all of that. Okay, cool. Well, if you're the person, clearly you standing up. So you need to be the dude or the sister to go and say, I'm running for office, because clearly you got the juice. You willing to stand up and speak up and disrupt and everything. So that means you need to be the person that we all get behind and vote. So, you know, put some pocket change on your campaign, you know, support you too financially. And then that's how we start, that's how you start getting them out the way, is that you start getting the people that's on this side in, and you start off locally. And you build your local gang, your local team up. Then you start getting your local people into the state government, right? And then from the state government, start getting them into Congress. And then from the Congress to the Senate, then hey, if some people want to try to go for presidency, they can. But you got to build from the bottom up to get to that point. And are we willing to get all our people in all these positions of power? Or are we willing just to disrupt or just put the message out of the microphone? We have to make that decision because it's way more of us than them. But what they got us on, they're more faithful voters. What's the point of having the numbers if you're not going to vote? What's the point? Now, I get voter apathy. I get it. And let me explain you why I get it. If you keep showing up for something that you want and you don't get it, then like, what's part of me coming? It's like if you go to your favorite restaurant and you like a particular meal, a particular dish. Let's say you like the spaghetti, and every time you go to a particular restaurant, the spaghetti's out. You went this week, it was out. You went last week, the week before that. You went this week, you went next week. You keep going, and every time that the thing that you want and you need the most is the spaghetti, it's always out. Eventually, you're not going to that restaurant anymore. You're going to say, look, I like the spaghetti there, but they never have it. So what's the point of me going to that restaurant anymore? Well, it's the same way about voting. If you keep showing up to vote and you get nothing out of it, what's going to happen? I say, what's the point of me voting? I mean, I don't get nothing out of it. I mean, you tell me I need to vote, but I don't get nothing. Or when I do vote, I see everybody else getting something out of the voting, and I don't get anything. You get what I'm saying? That's where voter apathy comes from. And then sometimes people want to condemn black people for not voting, but it didn't come from, oh, one day they just didn't want to vote, or one day they just choosing the couch. No. It came from apathy of not getting anything. That's where the couch conversation comes from. Years ago, black people wouldn't talk about no couch. I'm gonna say that's even a recent conversation in the past 6 years. Prior to 2020, 2019 era, it wasn't no choosing a couch conversation. It was none of that. That's a recent conversation. But that conversation comes from voter apathy because they didn't do nothing for black people. Period. You said, excuse my language, but God Almighty can remove them. Let me tell you something about God Almighty. If you go study the Bible, God has told many people to get yourself up and go take the land. Get yourself up and go battle Goliath. Get yourself up, go fight this one, go fight that one. God has told many people to get up and fight. He ain't just did everything for people. Come on now. No. God expects you to do your part. He ain't going to do it all for you. If you sit around waiting around God do everything for you, he looking like, I'm waiting on you. I'm be with you, but you got to go do it. So now the God I know from the Bible expect you to get yourself up and do something. It's an action. And God, his great wisdom, I understand why. Because let me tell you about that real quick. Today's kids. And I'm willing to admit this. Our generation, Gen X, we ruined our kids in a lot of ways. Let me tell you why. We come up in the generation of crack epidemic, 3 strikes law, a crime bill, a lot of struggle, gang, all this sort of thing. So we want to work hard and get out and have a good life. And we said we don't want our kids to even see no crack era. We don't see no gangs. We want to put our kids in the best of the best. We don't want our kids to struggle. We don't want our kids to come home, be latchkey kids like we were. We didn't want them eating the same food every day, the same clothes. We want them ridiculed like some of us ridicule being poor. So we created a better life for our kids. And they didn't really struggle like we did. In turn, what we did as a generation, as Gen X parents, our kids don't have the skills we have. They don't know how to figure it out. They break down easy. They cry. They feel life is so hard. I mean, they're crashing out when they have to, work hard. They're crashing out because we made life too easy for them. And that's why I finally understood in God's great wisdom why he don't do everything for you. Because when you do everything for a person, you cripple them. You got to figure out how to do some things on your own. You got to fight on your own. Now you can get assistance, but you got to do things on your own. And so with the Boulets and the Als and all of them, you got to stand up and be willing to go at things politically if you want to. Now, if you listen, you can talk at them all day on these microphones, but if you're not willing to get them out of the paint, if you're not willing to even create organizations that will challenge a national action network, right? And if you're not willing to even do that in your cities, of course, in your cities, I'm not saying you got to have a big organization, but even in your cities, if you're not willing to do those different things, you can disrupt, you can go in on them, but at the end of the day, what are you doing to counter a national action network? Do you got another organization you created that's a nonprofit where you can get donations and all that tax free, and you fighting for black people? You in it for real? Like, oh, we have to think that way. You know, you're talking about Julius Malema. He has a whole party, the EFF. He's just not out there just talking. He got people with him. A lot of people may not like Julius Malema, but he still created a political party. Julius Malema is a politician. He's just not talking. He's in that parliament. We'll see how long that lasts with this case, but he's a politician. So Julius is talking, and he's in also their government. So Julius is doing it on both sides, which is the way we should be doing it. We should be talking like Julius in a lot of ways about white supremacy and reparations and all of that, and also talking that same talk in the government too. We got to get in the government if you want things done. Once again, start locally. It's easier to win local races than it is these national and Congress races, and that's where it's like millions upon millions of dollars. Sometimes people don't even. I know a guy I went to church with became the mayor of Port Arthur, Texas. I'm like, wow, he became the mayor like that. Like in a lot of these smaller towns, it's not even that hard to become the mayor, especially if people know you. And some of y'all would be great for that, right? Some of you may be good. Some of y'all may be good for city council. Some of y'all be good for the board. You know, you talk about your public schools horrible in your city. Or brother, sister, get on the school board and fight hard for FBA to have a good education. You can do it locally. We got to stop looking at the politicians and, well, why don't they do this? No. We need to be the people that get in these positions. The school board, city council, mayor. You know, hey, you're a person about law enforcement. You want to do what's right with that. Sheriff, DA, whatever, judges. We got to get in those positions. That's the only way we can do something. But if all we're going to do is just talk about it here and maybe show up in some meetings and scream and yell and disrupt it, I mean, yeah, okay, that's great for attention. That's great to go viral. But what are we doing in the area of law? What are we doing in the area of creating policy? What are we doing in the area of creating ordinances to get laws passed to make sure FBA is right? We got to get some laws on the books, some policies done that last.
The laws on whose books, Uncle Phil?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, let's go ahead on and queue up. Make sure you check out our books and everything. Our books is,
sorry,
I'll be working on my next book here shortly.
This one is something
If you
else
haven't
right
read
here.
the books Passive Aggressive Racism and 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, you're navigating a system you don't fully understand.
Decolonize the mind, sister. Check out Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. That's what the fuck we do, is
They
decolonize the
taught you
fucking
everything
mind.
except how the system actually operates against you and how to reclaim the mind it was built to control. You can't dismantle what you don't understand. You can't free a mind you never examine it. Passive Aggressive Racism and 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind. Get both books on Amazon today.
No, you want to decolonize your mind, check out Shabaka's
After
Black
13
Experience
years of
Enhanced and
exposing
Front Line
lies in the
Blacc
media,
News.
I discovered
We
the biggest lie
specializing
of
in
all.
decolonizing
They
your
want
mind.
you to think racism is random.
You can't free a mind you never examine it.
Hey, brother Jay,
Yeah.
what did it sound? Did it sound kind of? Was that like a strange broadcast for Uncle Phil there? That was a little strange. But like, what was his
I
message?
think
Who was he speaking to?
He was speaking to the Democrats.
He's speaking to the Democrats, but if he's speaking to the Democrats, what is he talking about? Getting up, disrupting the Democrats. Why is he criticizing doing that so much? He harped on about that, like, a great deal. I was wondering where that was coming from.
That was
yeah,
probably
and what do you call it, Brother Che? The Democratic shields.
yeah.
Yeah, and then keep in mind it was the Democrats that brought us the Ku Klux Klan. You see what I'm saying? It was the
Now, he's just
Democrats
saying,
down
like, he
there.
just criticized the fact that he's criticizing in the video. He was criticizing the fact that there are people disrupting Democrats in their little events and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
and they
like
should
when
be
they go talk to people, there's people disrupting their events and speaking be on behalf of Black people, and he's saying, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but you got to get the. It sounds like more of that to me. It almost sounds like Roland Martin a little bit.
Exactly.
Almost. I mean, you lightweight telling us don't, whatever you're doing is ineffective, and you need to be doing this. You need to be doing that because this ain't good enough. And it's like, hey, man, everybody does what they do. Everybody has a role. There's people doing policies. There's people doing this. There's people doing that. And yes, we don't need to allow any politician, I don't care, white, Black, whatever. If they, as soon as they come to the public with the mic, we need to be there to disrupt that shit. So that's what I don't agree with about what he was saying. It was kind of ticking me off. Like, what is you talking about? Right? I mean,
You see,
those
like how
policies are the real change we want to see. So that's why you got to go show up and demand that. And it don't matter if you have somebody in there or not. When the people keep showing up, making these demands, and you're ignoring it, that's not going to help your party. It's not going to help your campaign. It's not going to help nothing. I mean, people are going to see that.
Yes, sir. And Cool Keys, this is what I call, the Yassa Boss syndrome. You see what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tim Scott, Uncle Tom Bradley, who was the mayor of Los Angeles. You see what I mean? And it's a syndrome, man. And I think, man, when you have a syndrome, it's more of a detriment, man, than psychosis. The Yassa Boss syndrome is a form of psychosis.
Right, because what makes you just have this need to always criticize your own folks?
Right.
When they're trying to, especially if they just going against white supremacy, you can't be criticizing them from how they are fighting white supremacy.
Right. And I just spent, man, like about the last 15 minutes while listening to Uncle Phil, man, putting rebuttals up on my like page to said individuals. You see what I mean? Okay. So I just go on and tell them, look, Nabisco, this is not the place for you. I don't even understand why you're following the goddamn page. Yeah, Cal Dog, the Stockholm Syndrome. Thank you, sir. They identify with their captors more so than they identify with themselves trying to get liberation or to get out of bondage, you see. Now, a classic case with this allegedly was the Patricia Hearst case, man, in the mid-1970s. Pull it up. You know what I mean? Because she was a kidnapped victim. She came for money. She goes rob a bank where somebody's got shot and killed, right? And under the felony murder rule of the state of California, if you commit a felony and somebody dies, you're automatically charged with murder one. They didn't do that to her. Why? Because her daddy had owned all the Hearst newspapers. You see what I'm saying? San Francisco Examiner, man, the Chronicle, you know what I mean? Yeah, Cal Dog, yeah, Patty Hearst, right. And then what happens, man? The peanut farmer, Jimmy Carter, you know, gave her a full pardon, right? Now, this woman went out here and robbed banks and shit like that, but you all wanted to come down on the Queen Mother, Assata Shakur, so hard, who was a gunshot victim herself. You see, all this here, brother, is hypocrisy. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I mean by the syndrome, the slave-minded syndrome. You see what I mean? And it carries on for generation after generation, but we're slowly coming out of it. I might not get there with you, man, but y'all's generation and the generations after you will be up out of it. You say, because you all are standing on business this time and you all are not going for this bullshit. You see what I mean? You know, look at Barack Obama. Change we could believe in.
I hear you.
Yeah, and here our people are getting unalived by race soldiers who are unarmed, but he's going to go over there to Kenya, man, and talking about an alternative agenda, and they told his ass to shake the spot. You see, what's that there, Brother Che, as you say, deflection. See, that's what that is. See, that's deflection. And then, you know, Rodney King syndrome. Can we just all get along after you all got hit upside the head 58 fucking times, man? You know? I mean, it don't make no sense. It's fucking ridiculous. You know? Brother Che? Earth calling Che.
Oh, yeah, I'm right here. Walking.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, that's, you know, and I'm sure you heard what me and Kizzy was just talking about. And then, like even you had stated, Brother Che, a few episodes back, for a slave to want freedom. Okay. Brother Che, the next topic.
Kizzy, did you already give it?
Yeah, we did. What's the next topic?
All right, well, that's the next topic.
Yeah, but I was going. We wanted to hear from you on what
he paid Rodney King to
say. We wanted to hear from you about like what you thought about, you know, what Phil was saying about it being disruptive.
Oh, I agree with what you were saying. I agree with everything he was saying. We got to deal with these goddamn gatekeepers. Like, this shit is ridiculous. Like, I'm noticing that with my latest run again for House.
Well, he was. I mean, see, he was criticizing other black people that are disrupting.
Yeah.
You know, when the Democrats come out and talk, he was criticizing the black people that's standing up, disrupting and speaking on behalf of black people and saying that you got to go run for office or you got to go do this or you got to go plebiscite. It was that kind of energy what Uncle Phil was on. And what I was saying is we already are doing that.
Yeah.
Like, does he know that you're running? Does he know that does he know about Greg Marcel Dixon? Does he know about others, you know, in the movement that are doing all the things that he say we should be doing instead of going out there disrupting and being disruptive?
Right. Yeah. Well, I changed what I said. I fully disagree with what Uncle Phil was saying in that regard.
I'm saying we already do everything that he say we need to do, and I don't know why he's saying that we need to do any of these things. And then he did say some stuff that I thought was interesting. He's saying that he's looking for correspondents to hit the streets and just, you know, get the microphone to regular folks and just let them spit, let them cook. I thought that was
Right.
cool. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that
Okay.
as like kind of getting the camera and this letting folks cook and then get that kind of content out there and see what the folks are saying out there on the streets, the everyday people.
Right.
Okay, but that's just it though, Cool Keezy. I got Uncle Phil's number, man. You know, Brother Pass was kind enough to get it for me. And I called him a few times. I left him multiple texts. The dude never got back with me. So he never got back with me. You know, I understand he's busy and all that old type of shit. You know what I'm saying? If the cat don't want to be bothered, just text me back, hey, man, lose my number. Don't fuck with me. I'll have more respect for that than to sit up there and just ignore somebody. Seriously. Seriously. You know, I understand he's trying to come up. He made him some money. Okay, great, fine, beautiful. We're trying to do the same damn thing, too. And Brother Paris, now we got to combine years now, Brother Paris, of about 22 years combined.
Yep, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And so, like I said, man, and Cool Keezy, we've had
Y'all don't need to look to Uncle Phil for anything. You guys are doing just fine on your own. Just it's about expanding and what you got with, because you got a solid foundation. So just expand on that. I wouldn't worry about him, but I thought the idea was good, especially for Brother Jay. He's right there where the people's at.
Right.
And you could definitely be doing some stuff like that with some content, just getting out
Brother
there
Che,
and letting
man,
the people
he
speak.
takes to the streets, and I give him that. What Brother Che does, man, every Sunday morning, you know what I'm saying? Well, he takes his time out, man, you know, to go help with the food bank. And Brother Che has done it in rain. He's done it in the heat.
For years.
He's done it in the snow. You see what I'm saying? That's
He's been doing that for years.
there. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Me, my credentials, you know, since hell, man, I was in my late 20s and 30s doing that, man. I always been Afrocentric. You know what I'm saying? Have always went up against these Nabiscos and what have you. They say, you know, and then people say, well, why don't you put your face up on it? The reason I don't, man, is for my security. You know, and then Cool Keezy, you and I'll eventually meet. You know what I'm saying? You're getting your tenure in with me. And that is just a quirk that I've had. Because I met with Jesse, I met with Jay Dizzle, you know what I'm saying? Met with a couple of other individuals, you know, as well, too. But you got to be careful. You see what I'm saying? Because, see, I get too many death threats in my inbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all get that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's how you know we're getting somewhere. Okay, like Regal, talking about he always wants to drive in his Mercedes. And people telling me, man, like from the Caribbean, man, that them goddamn Mercedes and shit is like fucking taxi cabs. And every other week, man, they got the motherfuckers in the shop up here, but I got a damn Mercedes. I got a Lexus. Okay, great, fine, beautiful, but you have to have money to keep the maintenance up on those vehicles. You see, because once they start turning to shit, man, you might as well take it straight to the fucking junkyard. Do you know? See, there ain't nothing wrong with having nice shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then on top of it too, people that we have tried to reach out to that has gotten with us, that Brother Che will tell you over the years. You say we're gonna get more people coming up, you know, as well too. But you know, but when you get out here on the social media stuff, man, and as Brother Che so well has said it, you got to play the games with the algorithms. You see what I mean? You got to play the games with the algorithms, you know, because they're talking about that we're doing hate speech. And ain't none of us advocated going out here hurting anyone. All we just advocate is that we quit hurting ourselves. You see what I mean? Yeah, and just like Cow Dog says, I'd much rather have an old school metal car. Exactly, Cow Dog. You know what I'm saying?
Our brother Jay, man, is tired tonight.
Yeah, you ready to call it a night, Brother Che?
No.
Nah, he says just one more round, boss.
He said that indica got him in the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brother Chase said just one more round, boss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then the cold part about it too, Black family. This is why they don't want us being able to control no internets, no marketing, no major industries or businesses. You see what I'm saying? You know,
peace, family. My name is Vicky.
There, is she gonna be banging on the table again?
Vicky D.
Dylan. Gonna give us an update.
Will she be banging on the table like
I hope she does.
She always do. That's why I like watching it.
This channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, family. Let me tell you something. I so honor and appreciate our now ancestors, the great attorney Johnnie Cochran. Johnnie Cochran, not only because he took on one of the most high profile, if not the most high profile criminal case of our time when I was growing up. I was still in, I think I was in high school or something like that, when OJ was acquitted of all charges. But Johnnie Cochran is a literal legal icon amongst Black Americans here in the United States, and was extremely effective. What a lot of folks don't know about him is that Johnnie Cochran had a very long history of doing good by Black folks. And a lot of folks don't know that Mr. Johnnie Cochran also experienced his own form of extraordinary racism by police. I believe he was even with his family. And there was a major incident where he and his family's safety was compromised because of an incident, I believe, with police. He prevailed in that situation, and he took his situation and went on to help so many other people. While we're very familiar with the case that he successfully defended O.J. Simpson in, and for those of you that's watching me around the world that believe that O.J. Simpson did that, you must be on something. Because no, he didn't.
No, honey, O.J. was innocent.
But that's another story.
That broad old
Johnnie Cochran is extraordinary because he not only had extraordinary skill legally, won numerous cases, but he also lost some on a local level. And he took those situations and became extraordinary and mastered other legal situations. But he had swag.
Yeah, he did.
And he had conviction.
That he did.
And he used his skill for more obscure cases that the public didn't tend to put a lot of attention on, as well as other high-profile situations where it was not necessarily in his best interest to do so, but he did what was right. He's not like your little modern, weird-looking, Black-looking folks that's only trying to do what the Democrat or the Republican Party tells them to do. Well, our brother passed away, I think it was 2005. And some folks say under very suspicious circumstances.
Yep, facts.
I want to remind you that not only did he have an extraordinary history of people that he defended, but did you know that at one time he defended Michael Jackson? Watch this clip.
Now, along with Charles Ogletree and Randall Robinson and some really great lawyers, I'm going to
remember that
action strategy to sue for slavery reparations in this country. Bring a lawsuit. It's not the most popular thing everywhere, but that's not the test. The test is slavery was wrong. The government sanctioned and benefited from it. You can't have, 200 or 300 years of free labor built to help build the country. When you go to Washington, you look at those monuments like the Washington Monument, built by slaves. Nobody ever got any compensation for that. You got to look at it realistically, I think. So I think these are new challenges we have to face.
Johnnie will never retire.
It's a journey to justice.
Did you see him in that clip just now? Did you hear him expose the fact that he helped to get Michael Jackson off early on when they came after Michael Jackson? And he said there were literally over 400 and some witnesses, some that the government talked to repeatedly to try to get a case against Michael Jackson. And at the time when Johnnie Cochran was helping Michael Jackson, he successfully helped him get off. And now he's not here, and neither is Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson ended up having another unjust case against him that he was acquitted of. I've talked about that many times. But with our brother Johnnie Cochran, guess what was the last major case he was working on before he suspiciously passed? I'll let you tell him this. Watch this clip.
Extremely elated. He talked to his wife immediately, and what he wants to say to his many fans who stood by him through this very arduous investigation, that he's very, very thankful and grateful this investigation is over. He wants to get on with his life. He plans to do that, both he and his wife, and proceed to have a family. This was a very, very painful time in his life, and the one that he wants to speedily put behind him. And he's just grateful to everyone. This matter is now over. I think that's about what he had to say about it. If you have any brief questions that I can answer, I'll try to do that.
Is it really over?
Jim?
You didn't quite give him a clean bill of health today. At the same time, they were saying they wouldn't prosecute. They talked about 2 other victims. Are you at all disappointed that they didn't just exonerate him outright?
Well, I would have liked a clean bill of health. You'd always like that, Jim. But the fact of the matter is that Michael Jackson has always maintained his innocence. He has always done that. Even if you recall in the resolution back in January, he maintained his innocence. And until today, he is still innocent and will always be innocent of these charges. And that's the situation. I cannot dictate to the district attorney how they choose to put it in final form. I would like to. Had I had my choice in the matter, the investigation would have been over with about 13 months ago. But I didn't have a choice in the matter. So now I have to accept that, and it's now over, and we're pleased about that.
Johnnie, a follow-up question. He's got this hanging over his head for the next 5 years. Did he express any concern about that?
No, I don't think he feels he has it hanging over his head. I think that in a situation where there's been an investigation that included more than 430 witnesses worldwide, many of whom were talked to 2, 3, and 4 times, I think it's pretty clear that they did everything they possibly could to determine whether or not they could file charges in this case. And so I think for all intents and purposes, he expects to go on with his life now and not worry about this further. And I think that one other thing in their statement that of course I am. I'm very concerned about that. And one other thing that the district attorney's office mentions that is a continuing problem that we have to be aware of, and that is witnesses whose credibility is compromised by selling their stories to tabloids.
More calls after watching that. More calls from FBA is demanding that we look a little bit closer into this, his passing, the circumstances surrounding it, and most importantly, we need to work on making sure that we bring it to pass. See, when you hear the likes of your black boule tell you what we can't do, like Al Sharpton the other day when he had one of his little weirdo conventions, and he made a fool of himself, sitting up there defending Democrats over black folks, telling us we need to put somebody in office that's going to give us reparations. Other than that, Al Sharpton actually used the word saying that we look stupid. Yeah, he said that recently. Well, first of all, Al Sharpton, you know there was a third-party candidate that was pushing for reparations. So you're right. We should put candidates in there that's willing to pass reparations. So Al Sharpton, since you know the Democrats won't do it because Hillary told you when she was running, she wasn't. Obama told you when he was running, he wasn't. Kamala told us early on she wasn't. So you say get somebody in there that's going to pass it. Well, you knew third-party candidates this last go-round was pushing reparations. So why don't you support them, Al Sharpton? Number one. Number two, you're supposed to be speaking for us, not the institutions and not the powers that shouldn't be. But also, a man like Johnnie Cochran, extraordinarily skilled, politically and legally, was preparing to sue the U.S. government for reparations. Why don't you take your curly, your James Brown hairstyle, since y'all love to brag about that, and figure out a way you can get some swag about getting us reparations the way he was going to do it. You're supposed to be figuring out solutions to our problems, not finding reasons and roadblocks to stand in our way. And that's how you know the Al Sharptons of the world. Don't you dare think for a second he speaks for us. It's time for us to get back to business, to stand strong, and to understand that some of you all are supposed to be fighting in a strong way, not weak, and not trying to suck up to institutions and political parties that don't stand for tangibles and justice for Black folks. I can't wait to see what you have to say about it, family. Be sure to go to my website at VickiPlanet.com to see my products and services and to see what I got going on. Be sure to subscribe to VickiDiller.tv. That's my channel as well. I can't wait to see you again.
Subscribe to Front Line Blacc News.
I'd like to say good morning to everyone. I'd like to say good morning to everyone. Thank you. When I asked that Pastor Jeff Marshall would come, he's the president of the Baptist Ministers Fellowship of Shreveport. We're going to ask him to come and offer a word of prayer. Pastor, will you come?
Let us pray. Father, which art in heaven, Lord, how we thank you and bless your name. Thank you for this day, the blessings of this day. Father, we come now thanking you for all that you've done and all that you're getting ready to do. Father, we need your protection today. We need your guidance. Father, we ask now that you would lead and guide us now in the way that you would have us to go. Father, as we're able to leave this city. And Lord, we ask now that you would look over this city, Lord, as we try to get through what we've gone through now.
Over here. All right, we got thoughts on video I played prior to that.
Okay, in regard to Mr. Cochran's legacy, I appreciate Johnnie Cochran. It's because I went to the same high school he did in Los Angeles many years later. He took a lot of cases early in his career pro bono, which was mainly one called the Deadweiler case. Okay. And we went over that, Brother Che. So Cool Keezy and them, you could pull it up. Just pull up the Deadweiler case of Los Angeles, I believe 1966, I believe. Okay. All right. He took a lot of other cases pro bono, you know what I'm saying, that he did for himself. Also, too, his main man, who was his number two man in his law firm, was the one and only Mr. Carl Douglas, that you would remember from the O.J. Simpson case. Yeah. And from what I understand, they still have their doors open. Okay. They, yeah, Cal Dog Johnnie was the truth. Okay. So they still have their doors open. They're in Los Angeles. So you should be able to Google him. And then if you don't have a case, you know what I'm saying, just go by there and pay him a visit and just say, hey, brother, we appreciate, you know, what you and Mr. Cochran did. You see what I mean?
Right.
And then, of course, he comes up mysteriously dead. Now, that's the thing about L.A. County, boy, I tell you. You got a whole lot of mysterious deaths in Los Angeles County. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm talking about, Cal Dog, you know. And Johnnie was the truth, you see. And then the thing is when they broke down Mark Furman, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. That was an accomplishment within itself, you know. And then I'm just gonna say this here for Cal Dog and Keezy, Brother Che, you know where I'm getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Mark Furman, who was a crash officer for the LAPD, Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums. He says the way how we do our cases is we get 5 niggas. And he did say niggas. We beat the first nigga. We beat the second nigga worse than we did the first nigga. We beat the third nigga worse than we beat the second nigga. And the fourth nigga is going to tell us what we want to know. And the fifth nigga is going to confirm what the fourth nigga said. Now, if that's not a miscarriage of justice, if that is not terrorism and Gestapo tactics, then I don't know which way is up.
Right.
See, you know, and I'm probably gonna get some more goddamn hate mail, man, you know, on my Facebook page, but fuck it. You know, I got fewer tomorrows than yesterday's anyway, you see. So if I don't pass down to the generations after me of what I've lived through and what I do pass down, by all means, research it. If I'm wrong on some things, you know what I'm saying, please let me know while I'm still here, or say, well, Shabaka lived through this, but he was wrong about that. You know, I won't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? Because when you start getting old, your memory gets a lot foggy, you'll say. But the Los Angeles Police Department, as a terrorist organization, okay, A lot of the members of the LAPD in the 1940s and 50s were recruited from the Ku Klux Klan in the South, because they had a whole lot of them Southern good old boys come to Los Angeles, you know, during that time and joined the LAPD. And who set the standards for that was an old racist bastard by the name of William H. Parker that died in 1966. And Daryl Gates, I read his autobiography. Yeah, Daryl Gates, I'm talking about your sorry ass, okay? Is that he was stated in his autobiography as that he was a disciple, repeat, a disciple, repeat, a disciple of William H. Parker. And if you all recall the old Adam 12 TV series or the old Dragnet series with Joe Friday, and they'll go out of what they call Parker Center, but they bounce the wrecking ball off of it and they build a more sophisticated Los Angeles Police Department over there across from City Hall on the South Side, Brother Che. They say, and I have left Los Angeles at that time, you know. And then, of course, we do remember Christopher Dorner, you know what I mean, who put his manifesto up on Facebook that I read it, that I found to be quite chilling, of going through those same streets of which he was talking about. These officers were committing these heinous crimes. Then quite naturally, of course, Facebook tore it down, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the city of angels for you. And one thing about Los Angeles, people, if you ain't never been there, the city is beautiful, but the city of angels will love you to death. Literally. It would love you to death. And I hate to say that. And then up here being in this city of sin, where I'm at now, I keep an extremely low profile. And if everybody ever saw Goodfellas, you know, everybody's here, you know what I mean? And whatnot, you say. But with all that being said, it's very, very essential that Blacc Media stays up. They're going to throw sticks and stones at us. They're going to put shit in our way for us to stumble over as we go through it. Now, we may not all agree all the time, but I ask, if we're going to disagree, please let us disagree agreeably, because we are all we got, Black family. We're all we got. And then these chicken pecking Uncle Tom ass scratching Tim Scott punk ass, you know what, okay? Yassa Boston should be considered a Class 2 felony, because the Yassa boss we say, they are very, very detrimental to us. They say, and then if you're on social media, when the people come up and tell you, well, that was so long ago, hey, get on their helmet. Show them how they still benefit from it, from commerce, from our intellectual properties that were stolen through that patent office. You see what I'm saying? And we're not going to talk about the orangutan. You know, Jailbird 1. Okay, when he gets on Jailbird 1, the damn thing should be landing to the closest federal institution, where his ass should be booked on his felony convictions. He could still be the president, except his Oval Office would be his jail cell. You know what I'm saying? But to quote you, Brother Che, in a perfect world, I yield. Brother Che? Earth calling Che.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You sound exhausted, man.
I was trying to play the video. Did the video even play?
No, sir. Okay, there they are with their shenanigans again.
Oh, I got to get to the YouTube bans the Iranian AI video.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cow dog metro is bad as California, man. And then get this, cow dog, you can't open carry in Las Vegas, man. In the rest of Nevada, you can, but not Las Vegas. And I asked them, how come you can't open carry in Vegas? They say they got too many of our colored folk up here from Los Angeles.
Oh, so
Ain't
we
that
got
so?
Snobby in the building. Salute, Goddess Snobby.
Greeters, Goddess Navi. Oh, yeah.
Let me get on YouTube bans Iranian AI Lego video.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw this
oil I
earlier.
got from 12 tribes on Earth.
Doing well. Well, I think by now many of us have seen those Lego AI videos that Iran has been putting out. And, you know, they're all over different platforms. Most of the time when I watch them, I'm over on TikTok. Well, YouTube, now this guy called himself Mr. Explosive. And YouTube just took his channel down. And they said the Lego videos were violent. Trust me, YouTube, I've seen far worse on your platform, and the shit is still up. All right? There's all kinds of fight videos out there, and they've been up for years.
Man,
But
I don't know. They
why you took
on
it down. I
YouTube
would
right
not even
now.
be surprised if somebody from the Trump administration contacted you and you took it down. And I realize many of you used to come and troll me and used to be Trump Godfather, Trump. These are just people that
I
work
got a
inside
message
YouTube,
about my
y'all.
last
That's all
video
they are. These folks work for
about that
YouTube,
40 acres. They
and
messaged me
they
about
will
that.
come out and harass Black YouTubers. So
Yeah, they said it was guns, and it was like restricted. They restricting, put a restricted on
win the war
because it
and
had a gun, shooting a
being
gun.
that you were a superpower. You ain't no damn superpower, by the way. That would mean Iran is now the superpower and America's not a superpower at all. And I don't think America has been a superpower for many decades now. You know, they were big after World War II.
Right.
And maybe the Korean War. But after that, America don't win wars anymore. They don't win anything, you know? And you saw what happened when they pulled out of Afghanistan. The Taliban took over immediately. I don't even think a day went by before they took the country over again. So all for what? Wasted all that money and time getting the Taliban out of power. And then the second you leave, they're back in power. So what good was that? So anyway, yeah, you may take it down, but it's still on other platforms. And not only that, a lot of people copied those videos, you know, and they're out here. They're here to stay, whether you like it or not. They're here to
because
stay.
even if you take it down,
But
somebody could still
you know
copy
how it is. These millionaires and billionaires and people in the Trump administration, and Donald Trump probably didn't like it because, see, this whole propaganda video thing, Trump, he was the first one to put a propaganda video out about Iran. And the Lego videos came in retaliation for doing that, but he was the one that did it first. And I doubt if YouTube took that down. And then after Donald Trump did it, that's when Iran started doing it, and their videos were a hell of a lot better. It just goes to show you, all of you AI people over here in America, y'all need way more schooling because you are not that up to par when it comes down. You probably are told that because, you know, in this society, they elevate mediocre people. So they probably told you you did great work and you were really this and really that and really this. They do that all the time. You know, mediocre people are held to high standards And but if you
Right.
have real
Like the
excellence,
bullshit
what
we
they
go
try to
through.
do is suppress you, especially if you're melanated. They'll try to suppress
Tell me
you
about it, Lisa,
on
honey.
these jobs and keep you down so the mediocre person can continue to rise to the top. That's how they do it in this
Right.
society. So
Yeah.
anyway, your videos, America, couldn't even match theirs. You can tell the Iranians got much better schooling in AI than you do over here in America. It's very obvious. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see it. So let's get into it. He's been interviewed, but I don't know, for some reason, when I tried to listen, the interviews are always real low. So I don't know.
Right.
But
It's designed
you're going to
like
hear
that,
other
honey.
people talking about how they're taking down the AI Lego videos that came out by, Iran. You know how it is. When you can outperform these people, they get mad. They get mad and then start trying to sabotage you, because what else do they really have left? Please give me a 1 if you can
by
see
the
my
way,
video.
where's that drunken
yes,
ass
if you can see
motherfucker
my
Cash
screen.
Patel
Sorry.
at? He fucked up off a short dog somewhere, bombed out. Yeah, where is that drunk motherfucker with his four-eyed, parrot nose, cross-eyed ass?
Thank you.
Exactly, cow dog. I took down all my YouTube
It
videos.
is
You
happening.
remember, brother?
YouTube
Chad?
has banned explosive media, the makers of some of those Lego videos that have been going viral. Maybe you've seen them. Videos that often use American culture and catchy lyrics and a beat to depict the Iranian perspective of the conflict in the Middle East. I'm not saying you should go watch them, but just to understand what we're dealing with in terms of Iranian propaganda. I did watch 1 or 2 or 7, and I can confirm, though I don't listen to music, it's part of my religious observance to avoid it. I can confirm just watching these, once each, they are catchy. They have been built to be quite memorable.
Damn goddess. Would Anyway, you say cow
Some
dog
news
powder
outlets have
Patel, huh?
that the
You on that
channel
shit.
posting the content violates some terms of service. Of course, that's not the only channel posting the videos and not the only platform they are being posted on. But it is still a large blow to have this channel taken down. It's still a large blow to the producers of the content to have a platform as far-reaching, as established, as prestigious as YouTube slam the door in their face and say, Astaghfirullah. They didn't say Astaghfirullah, but they said, no, stop sharing stuff that's going to make us look bad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 15th of April.
And look at the ears on this
Analytically
motherfucker.
speaking, for better or worse, not taking sides here, but the balance of power in the conflict in the Middle East is clearly in Iran's favor. In the US-Israel war that Iran was attacked in. That's right. After 40 days of fighting, 2 nuclear-armed nations could not achieve the generally agreed upon critical war goals they set out to achieve.
Yeah, cow
namely,
dog, he on that shit.
the collapse of the Iranian administration and the replacing of said administration with something more pliable, something more subservient, something more compliant, something that's happy to slot itself in under Israel and allow the situation in the Middle East to be completely transformed. They failed that objective by and large so far, and I would say it's becoming increasingly likely that they failed outright. It's not so far, they're not going to achieve this, not in this round of fighting. Iran, for better or worse, endures. Iran's administration, for better or worse, has survived. The battle on the ground now seems to have paused, at least for now, since last Wednesday. It's Wednesday again now. It's been a week of the ceasefire, and largely it has held. But the memes, the AI, the diss tracks, diss tracks is like when you insult someone in rap form. I didn't actually know what it meant, so I looked it up. I had to do some research. That's how much of a sheltered unk I am. But Pete Hegseth, for example, has a very, inflammatory diss track against him now from these Lego AI videos, or Lego style, I should say. It's not actually Lego. So I'm not encouraging you to go watch it, but yeah, I watched it and I was like, oh my God, from the Iranians? This is scandalous. So yeah, the memes, the AI, the diss tracks, the trolling online. Of course, there's no ceasefire for keyboard warriors. So all of that continues unabated, meaning not baited, not stopped, not limited. That's the news, guys. This channel was taken down that is boasting apparently pro-Iranian propaganda videos.
And
What
I
of the
bet you
channels
that's
posting
whiskey,
American
that
propaganda
motherfucker
videos? Madi
drinking.
mushkila, no problem about those, man.
That ain't no coffee, that's whiskey.
Here's the analysis, guys. Iranian Lego AI videos continue to go viral. It's a case of people heard, including myself, I'm making a video about it now, right? So people have heard about these Lego style AI videos and they watched it. Now that it's banned, loads of people are finding it, like working hard to find it and reshare it and crop it and clip it. It kind of had the reverse effect, like a lot of the time stuff like this has. Stuff like
All
this.
right, Cal,
A lot of
dog,
the time
thank
it's
you
like
for
this.
joining us, brother. Have a
The
nice
idea,
night.
of course, by whatever government or company is to try and limit the direct source and just cause problems for its propagation, the sharing, the propagation of the material in question. But the AI Lego videos, got to be said, they were popping off. They were going viral.
Yeah,
bruh.
Cal,
They
dog.
were
Yeah,
on
be
a
safe out
trajectory
there,
that would
brother.
hypersonic
Protect yourself at
missiles, to
all
shame some of them.
times.
They were
This is
popular
the
in a way
Wild Wild
politicians can
West.
only dream of. And they're Lego.
Yeah, I got-
They look Lego style. They're like cartoons. It's like some of the scenes are like a set that you might expect Lego would sell, like Village in the Desert or American cargo plane. It just looks like a beautiful Lego set in some scenes. But it's not Lego, obviously. It's AI. Lego
who is
style.
this
It's
here?
cartoony, but apparently too dangerous for
4352.
YouTube.
I think they're
The banning of the account, Explosive Media, the banning of that account that posted at least some of the content highlights a key reality that I wanted to share on this video. YouTube is a Western company with Western owners, and specifically, it's an American company. America is the one fighting and losing the fight in Iran. Losing not openly on the battlefield. Oh, no. Of course, they're extremely capable in an open fight. They don't know what to do with all their winning. I acknowledge that they are capable in an open fight. But an open fight, Iran is not giving them. In the game they're playing, the game Iran's forced them to play in some ways, they are losing. No critical war objective completed. You took out the supreme leader. You took out all these other leaders, over 50. You carried out, between you and your sweetheart, 25,000 airstrikes. And the administration still stands. And they're actually more entrenched. The people look more to the administration now in Iran for their safety. Even the people who are pro-America intervention are saying, I wasn't pro-bridges and power stations being flattened. I wasn't pro-Minab, a school being flattened. That wasn't me. I'm not for that life. So it's actually hardened and galvanized. Galvanized meaning strengthened across the spectrum, the Iranian state and their hold of the country. So critical war objective, topple Iran. Critical war objective, not fulfilled. Very simple analysis there. For anyone who wants to sort of get into a debate, who's winning, who's won, oh, the ships are at the bottom of the ocean. The ships were not part. My turban might fall off.
YouTube has banned Explosive Media, the channel behind the viral AI-generated Lego-style videos mocking Donald Trump and the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. The reason given? Violent content. Let that one settle for a moment. Lego. Violent content. Explosive Media had been producing AI-generated animations in the style of the Lego movie. Plastic toy soldiers, miniature Trumps and Netanyahus, little caskets draped in American flags, to deliver pro-Iran political commentary to Western audiences. The videos were genuinely clever, Set to rap songs, packed with Epstein references, American pop culture jokes, and real geopolitical facts, they racked up millions of views and were being broadcast on Iranian state television while Iran's own internet was blacked out. The channel told X after the ban, "Our YouTube channel just got taken down again for violent content." Seriously, are our Lego-style animations actually violent? And that is actually a fair question, because the White House has put out AI-generated videos too. The U.S. military released Call of Duty-style clips to promote Operation Epic Fury. Those remain on YouTube without issue. Now, to be transparent, Explosive Media is believed to have links to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, though the group itself claims to be student-run and independent. They are not neutral actors. These are pro-Iran propaganda videos dressed in toy aesthetics designed to spread in the West. But here's the issue. YouTube, owned by Google, an American company, has removed a channel critical of American foreign policy during an active American war, while leaving up comparable content that supports it. Researchers are calling it exactly what it looks like: Silicon Valley moderation that conveniently aligns with U.S. government interests. The videos are still on TikTok, Instagram, and X. The ban didn't kill the content. It just confirmed exactly what the content was saying.
I spoke to the Iranian creator behind the viral AI Lego videos. Their AI videos supporting the Iranian regime often depict Trump and Netanyahu as Lego figurines. They've attracted both support and criticism, even though their videos have been shared by accounts associated with the Iranian government. They claim that they're independent and have full creative control. Most Iranians have an internet blackout right now, but they say that they've been granted internet access by the government on the basis of journalism. When I asked about the thousands of protesters who were killed during Iran's January crackdown, they disputed those numbers and said that many of the protesters were actually, quote, terrorists armed by the US. When I tried to push back on this, the person they claimed was their translator tried to stop me.
Our interview is about Legos, so would you please back to the main questions?
After denying any involvement with the Iranian government, I then reminded them of our conversation on Instagram, during which they said that they had worked on some projects with the government. He admitted that the government was a customer of theirs, but continues to claim to be independent.
What's with all the Iran Lego videos?
America first? Oops. Oh boy, that was the slogan you sold.
This is one of the latest viral videos by pro-government Iranian media outlets. A regime-aligned propaganda outfit based inside Iran called Explosive Media has really dominated the scene, creating AI-generated Lego videos about the war that rack up thousands of views and shares. Their traditional, outdated videos and images of religious iconography most associated with the Islamic Republic are getting pushed aside. Instead, these globally oriented songs and raps talk about the core principles of the Islamic Republic, like anti-Westernism and anti-imperialism, in a more modern way.
We're standing here for everyone, your system ever wrong, they've known all along.
Nargis Bajogli says the war has changed how the Islamic Republic communicates.
Because their fathers have been killed mostly, this younger generation now has a lease to be able to sort of take on the decision-making and how to communicate with the world about what Iran is and what the Islamic Republic stands for. They've put aside a lot of that religious language.
And it's not just Lego videos. Over the past few weeks, Iranian embassies all around the world have begun trolling the US and Israel. And Iranian leaders like Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, have also begun posting memes and internet culture references, showing a real shift in propaganda.
It's quite incredible to me to watch. They have outdone the United States and Israel in communications, especially in the social media realm. That to me shows that the young folks are in charge of the communications arm in Iran. And in the United States and Israel, it still feels beholden to an older generation, which is why I think they're failing in the digital world.
Truth or Fake gives us Vedika Bell over by the big board. Good evening to you, Vedika. Previously covering the ongoing meme war between the US and Iran, and now Tehran has been trolling Donald Trump via Lego-style AI videos. Recently, YouTube banning these videos, which prompted a reaction from Iran. Tell us more.
Well, Mark, as we've previously covered here on Truth or Fake, the war in Iran just isn't just on the battlefield. It's also online via AI slopaganda. And Iran certainly has been playing Donald Trump at his own game by releasing a wave of AI-generated videos about the conflicts in Iran, which ridicule the US war effort and mock the US president. Now, many of them even depict Donald Trump as having started this war to distract from his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And particularly viral are these Lego-style animations created by a pro-Iran group named Explosive Media. They've animated essentially every
Y'all, not Donald Trump in a diaper with some boo-boo coming out of it. I just noticed this bit. Oh my goodness. I am a loser. And they're showing Donald Trump's diaper with some boo-boo coming. I guess they are taking this shit down. You know this is making them butt sore.
Just
man,
show
for
Lisa,
real.
honey, he's talking out the crack of his ass. That's all he's saying. They're just showing him literally
moment of
talking
this
out
conflict.
the crack
We've
of his
racked up
ass.
hundreds of millions of views online. For example, one recent videos was captioned, Trump surrendered, Iran won, Taco will always remain Taco. Taco referring to Trump always chickens out. And indeed, the video, which was reshared particularly, showed the war continuing until 2027. It showed the Middle East in disarray from bombing, rising costs in the US, prompting people to struggle with the cost of living, and Trump having an ongoing nightmare about all of this taking place. And it essentially implies that Trump signed the 2-week ceasefire with Iran due to this ongoing nightmare and prompting him into making that decision because of that. Now, a few days after this video hit the internet, Google, the owners of YouTube, banned Explosive Media's official YouTube account. And they told Middle East Eye that they did this because they said the accounts violated its spam, deceptive practices and scams policies. Now, this has prompted outrage from the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who said online via its spokesperson, in a land that proudly hosts Pixar, DreamWorks, and Disney, an independent animated YouTube channel which has organically grown by depicting US aggression and warmongering, was abruptly shut down. They say that this was done simply to suppress the truth about the US illegal war in Iran and shield the American administration's false narrative from any competing voice. Now, the creators of these Lego-style videos, Explosive Media, have also reacted. They say, seriously, are our Lego-style animations actually violent? Now, as of now, the Lego videos remain published on Meta platforms like Facebook and Instagram, as well as TikTok and X. But as we can see, the YouTube is certainly out of order.
They're certainly extremely creative. What do we know about this Explosive Media group, the people behind the Lego videos?
Well, that is a good question. Well, we don't know their identities or which AI they use or where they are based, but a representative for Explosive Media, who asked to be referred to as Mr. Explosive, well, he recently gave an interview to the BBC. Now, he said that the team at Explosive Media consists of less than 10 people. They said that they use Lego because it's a, quote, world language. And also, interestingly, when pressed by the journalist, he admitted that the Iranian government is one of their clients, even though they had previously claimed that they are an independent group. Now, according to The New Yorker, Explosive Media began as a YouTube channel featuring political commentary on the Middle East via a young Iranian man. But most of these videos didn't gain any traction, only racking up a few hundred views. But this all changed in February when the group began posting these Lego-style videos about the war in Iran. And these have certainly gone viral. They're reposted not only by official government Iran accounts and pro-Iran accounts, but also social media users worldwide. And even though these videos aren't factually accurate, we also have to remember neither are the videos posted by Donald Trump in the White House. These aren't factually accurate either. Often AI videos which project US military might, praise Donald Trump and splice in real war footage of strikes and bragging about alleged successes in this war. But Iran really has leaned into this AI propaganda to push their side of the war to a non-Iranian audience, often using American references and satire to flood the internet. It certainly is a leaf out of Donald Trump's own playbook. As we know, he is a frequent user of artificial intelligence.
Indeed. It seems, Vedeka, Iran going one better.
YouTube has banned Iranian Lego animation account from their platform for the following reasons. Number one, They say these videos are just too violent for their platform. Number two, deception. They say the incidents and events taking place in these animations are not based of real-life incidents. Therefore, they are deceptive, fabricated, and are flagged for factual inaccuracies. Number three, it was backed by Iranian government, so it was some sort of Iranian state-backed propaganda machine. Obviously, Iran didn't like it so much, and they have said simply to suppress the truth about their illegal war and shield the American administration's false narrative from any competing voice. Obviously, their Instagram account was also banned, but they made a new one.
Yeah, poor America, butt sore over some videos. Yeah, you know, the Trump administration videos in comparison to Iran, Trump's videos were DEI. Yeah, they were DEI, made by very unqualified people using AI. That's what his videos were. So you couldn't compete. So you knocked them off of the internet because you really couldn't compete. And that's usually what you have done historically. So nobody is shocked over that.
Yeah, it's called shadow banding, Lisa, honey.
Says, thank you so much for the super chat. Oucha supporting. Thank you so much for your support for my channel. But, you know, it's still on the internet. And plus, so many people reposted those videos. They couldn't get them all off if they wanted to, y'all. They couldn't get them all off if they really wanted to. Yeah, DEI cowards. DEI cowards. No, because when you look at the videos Donald Trump put out, trust me, you can't compete. In fact, I think I could sit down and come up with better videos than what the Trump administration came out with. Y'all videos.
I much rather look at Bugs Bunny and Road Running, Wile E. Coyote.
When he was talking about putting
genius.
A resort over there in Gaza. Jump titty light, golden night. The song is corny. Okay, it's corny. In fact, the whole video is corny. See, y'all don't know how to put no good AI out. And you know what the sad part is? He probably hired someone to do that low-level stuff and thought it was great. Remember, mediocre is great in America. Mediocre is great in America. So he thought all that shit sound good. That song was corny. It was corny. And it was a substandard video. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. My next video is going to be on a fire that broke out over there in Ghana. You know, first the flood. I showed you that about 2 weeks ago. I showed you the flood. Well, now there was a fire that took down several homes and buildings over there. And they're claiming it was arson. So I don't know whether it was or not, but that looks like some real judgment right there. So I'll be back at 3:45 to show you that infernal that happened over there. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and I will see you later, family. Wait a minute. Lisa Parker, thank you so much for the 21-month membership. Thank you for being truly the great teacher you are, Queen. Thank you so much, Lisa. I deeply appreciate your support for my channel. Thank you. Shalom, family.
Shalom, Lisa. All right, Shabaka.
All right, Lisa.
What are your thoughts on them banning the Lego videos?
No, okay, well, once again, you know, what happened to free speech? Number one. Number two is kind of like that this regime is very, very selective about your or about the general public's criticism of it. Okay. So that's not freedom of speech. And then this orangutan is violating every fucking law, man, that he swore to uphold when he took his hypocritical oath to preserve, protect, and defend the U.S. Constitution. And what happened to freedom of speech? Look at the shit that we go through at Front Line Blacc News, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. You see what I'm saying? They let trolls come up here, man. But I noticed, man, we've been bopping them upside the head quite lately, man. We ain't seen too many of you trolls out there. Okay. So that means that you trolls are getting your minds right, because we're not going to put up with your shit. Okay. Because you ain't dropping not one fucking dime on this podcast. You see what I mean? We're going out of our pockets on it. You see what I'm saying? And of course, by all means, we appreciate, our contributors and our viewers by all times. We really do appreciate them on that. But what it is, people, is that the quote unquote constitutional amendments and what have you are broken. Okay, it's because if they were rigid, if they were solid, you wouldn't have the dump as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way, doing the crap that he's doing. He started this fucking war. He wants to reinstitute the draft. Okay, so when is all his nephews and grandsons and what have you, when are they going to go sign up? You're supposed to lead by example, right?
Right.
Yeah, you see? So, and then not to mention the fact, they never wanted to address the fiasco of Vietnam. You say, well, so many brothers have got destroyed by that, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. You see what I'm saying? Morally, and they don't never want to bring up that war criminal, William H. Calley, with the My Lai massacre. You see? And now, Brother Che, we might want to do a story on that, but I have to think about it first, because that's going to be on dealing with a whole lot of sensitive subjects. And then also, too, isn't the file supposed to be released now on JFK and MLK and Robert Kennedy?
Yeah, that's what the dump said he was going to do.
Yeah. I'm yet to see the release on it. And then, by the way, old parrot nose, cross-eyed Cash Patel, where's your drunk ass? Yeah, where's that drunk motherfucker at?
He's suing news outlets for saying that he was a drunk.
Okay, let him take a field sobriety test, you know what I'm saying, and all that old type of shit, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't give a fuck what the drunk motherfucker does, to be honest about it. I'm just going by parrot nose with your beady eyes and your bullshit ass glasses, man. I can't tell which way you looking. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't give a fuck if he is a drunk. It's none of my business. Go get drunk again. You know what I'm saying? But I know one damn thing. They ain't going to send him to no homeless shelter, man. They probably have a place for him in the White House to detox. You know what I'm saying? The dumpster probably say, well, Cash, you're fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Go up here, sober up, and we'll get some more lies straight. You know what I mean? Now, see, now the dumpster, being the liar that he is, right? All his shit, over the years and what have you, you say, he's got a whole lot of lies to get straight. Why? I would have more respect for the dump as in human shit if he would come out publicly and state, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a fucking crook. I want to make it clear. I'm in it for the money, okay? And fuck y'all. Now, guess what? I would have more respect for the motherfuckers saying that. Why? As you know, Cow Dog from LA, never apologize for how you honestly feel.
Cow Dog
You
is
feel me?
California.
Yeah, from California. My bad, Cal Dog, California. Yeah.
He
Okay.
already sleep, Shabaka.
Huh?
He went to sleep.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, all right. It's all good. We thank you for coming on up here. And then also two people on our Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced like page. All our supporters, you know, we appreciate you. All of our haters up there on that page, we appreciate you too. And then when you guys get out there and crumb bum on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, I strongly recommend and insist that at least spell the name correctly and say what you want. So I would probably be up here, you know, for the next couple of hours, you know, arguing with the trolls and the fucking idiots that come up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it
3-hour mark.
And it's
We're at the 3-hour mark.
Oh, okay, brother Chase. So give me a call tomorrow, you know, that I told you off there in the chat here, and I appreciate all who came on tonight in the chat room. And thanks again for having me, brother Che.
You're welcome, Shabaka. Have a good night.
You too, sir. Okay. And put them ponies and buckets in a barn.
The AFC West.
Peace out, Shabaka.
Okay, cool, Casey.
BA West.
Put the ponies in the barn, and Raiders leave town or change your fucking name. And basketball's coming up, man.
I'm not even worried about them sports.
In basketball, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and then
it's playoffs right now. Nuggets.
Yeah, and the
just won
basketball,
tonight.
yeah. So we got the Lakers in there. The Buckets is up in there.
The Nuggets,
yeah, well, y'all do got some gold nuggets up there around Colorado. That's for damn sure. Yeah, up there. What was that? Black Hawk, I think. Yeah. So y'all had a little bit of a gold rush up there. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying?
I know a little bit. We have a gold rush here too.
Yeah, and up there in 52
plenty of it, and it's still plenty of it out there.
Yeah, but
you better look up Nigger Hill. You better look up Nigger Hill.
Damn.
Yep.
Nigger Hill, I'll be damned. Okay, all righty. Okay, cool, Keezy. Appreciate you on that there, brother. And then, of course, you do know any gold you mine, the feds automatically get it. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is crazy. Yeah. Okay, so therefore, you know, to all the dumpsters out there, you all stink. And American sad ass, okay, you all got what you voted for. He was a crook, and at least the dump is honest about being a crook. Now, tricky dick, you know, ladies and gentlemen, your president is not a crook, and we all saw what happened with him. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bid you a good night from Sin City. I might try to take me $20 and boss it up on a slot machine tomorrow, but my mind ain't made yet. You know what I mean? All right. Okay, y'all take care. All right, cool, Casey.
Peace.
Always.
Casey, what's your thoughts on them taking the Lego videos down?
In a nutshell, man, look, tough titty said the kitty. Because I know you've probably witnessed and been a victim of censorship way before Iranians have been witnessing that and suffering from it. So, and I thought it was an interesting choice that they are using Black American created hip hop to reach the masses. Just a bunch of tethering. Everybody just loves to do that, you know, and very interesting. So I'm not really sad for them. I ain't watching the Legos. I'm not real big on the, you know, like Shabaka was just saying, I'd respect him more if he said he's just a crook. I wouldn't give a god dog.
Yeah.
You heard? I don't care. That's not gonna help me for him to say that.
Right.
That's not gonna benefit me. I'm still gonna have to say, if he said come out and say that tonight, I'm gonna still have the same bills. I'll be in the same position. So that means 0 for me. I need him and the rest of them to cut that check. Other than that, I don't care what they say. So they can make propaganda videos and do all that. Those are inaction to me. That's just another time wasting thing that I don't care about. You having a meme war now. We used to have wars and people get out there and handle business, and now they done stop shooting and they just passing back and forth memes. Huh? That's good. I guess a meme war is better than losing lives.
Yeah, that's true.
So Trump and his team, they need to get them some AI skills. They get the AI skills up and stop banning people because you lose because you're getting cooked on the AI.
Exactly. All right, thank you, Keith.
Yep.
So moving along, we got Kristi Noem's husband scandal, secret life exposed. So Lisa gonna give us an update on that.
Family, great to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Now, this next story, it's not that it's irrelevant, but it's funny. And sometimes we need to laugh. So Kristi Noem, who's no longer the director of Homeland Security, is married. And she was very open about having an affair on her staff. Well, it all came out, and you're not going to believe how it came out too. It's actually funny. So she was the director of Homeland Security, and and she's for the most part responsible for a lot of what ICE does out here in the streets. Well, her husband behind the scenes, which she claims she did not know about this, he is a cross-dresser, and he likes to wear these latex women boobs, okay? And he poses in all kinds of pictures with this. She claims she did not know about this. Now, you are the director of Homeland Security, and somebody right under your nose is doing something and you had no idea. You really didn't deserve that job, lady. So anyway, guess how he got busted, y'all? An illegal ratted him out. He was sending pictures of himself to a bunch of illegals. And I guess he thought because they were illegal, even if they said something, nobody would believe it. Well, they did believe it. They were able to produce the pictures of him and everything. So that's how it all came out. And they said they ratted him out because they couldn't stand Kristi Noem, his wife. And we know for obvious reasons, ICE and deporting them. So that's how he got busted. Yep, an illegal ratted his ass out. So anyway, you're going to get a good glimpse of him and people talking about him because, there's a lot of pictures of him that has come out, videos too, with him with these old blown up looking boobs. Some people are naming him big. His name is Byron. So a lot of people are calling him Big Boob Byron. And you'll see why when we get to the pictures. This one is weird. I don't see how she married this weirdo man. He is weird. Weird. And I was like, girl, you had to be out of your mind. So anyway, let me share my screen. And I think the problem is he said she did not give him a lot of attention in their marriage. I guess the attention he wanted. She was more engulfed with having power, like people like her naturally want. They always want power. Power only means you want to oppress other people. See, when you hear power from them, that's what it means. Okay, it's not empowering yourself and doing good with that power. No, when people like her get power, that means she gets to oppress people. That's what it's all about. She gets to round up a bunch of brown people and treat them like crap. That's what power means to them. All right. Thank you for the ones. Let me go ahead and share my screen and let me mute myself.
The story is that Byron Noem was outed for his busty bimbo sex fetish by an undocumented immigrant. He was paying up to $25,000 for cyber sex services. Your wife was the head of the agency that was rounding up people, whether they were citizens or not, based on what they look like to protect the country. You're out here paying $25,000 to an undocumented immigrant, and then she turned you in?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
2026 has been a doozy of a year. I don't really know what to expect day to day, week to week, month to month, but I did not expect to wake up today and get a news ticker headline about Kristi Noem's husband being a part of a bimbification sex group online.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Where he chats to women with huge breasts and huge bums and tells them that he wishes he could have their bodies. Subsequently, he then wears huge breasts and a huge bati, a huge nyash, a huge backside. He puts it on, then he puts on women's clothing and then sends the pictures to the women.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why many people are saying they believe this is the real reason why Kristi Noem lost her Homeland Security position in, the Trump administration. They believe this was the real reason, because her husband was doing all this freaky stuff online. And he thought the group he was in was with a bunch of immigrants, that he was safe. Well, he wasn't safe. And look at what happened to him. Yeah, dude ain't all there. I've even listened to him speak. He is seriously out in left field. You know what? That's why this woman is running around having affairs. Her husband is loony, for real. And I think they saw this stuff out there and they just wanted to get rid of her. So let's go on.
According to the Daily Mail, 3 or 4 women have sent in conversations and pictures of him partaking in this group. Now, by no means am I a person who's judging you for having your sexual kinks. By no means. I just think that it's particularly amazing time-wise that in the same week that Kristi Noem's ex-employees were cheering when her portraits were taken down from the apartment of DHS, that her husband is out here getting caught wearing fake boobs, fake ass, and wearing her aloe yoga sets. It's not funny, but it is. I hope that she is not so sad. She said she's so embarrassed. You weren't embarrassed when you were killing people and arresting and detaining babies and shipping them off to God knows where. So we don't give a fuck about how devastated you are. In fact, we need more news to come out about you. We need more news. I need your doctor to run out of filler. I hope your doctor runs out of the annual checkup you have. But yeah, guys, that's what's going on in today's world. He's probably playing YMCA and hanging out with Trump and playing golf on the weekends. Him and Lindsey Graham and Marco and Pete Hegseth with Bud Light breath. Who knows? I gotta go.
Brian Noem and Titgate is back. Yes, Kristi and her husband have new scandals busting out, and I'm making too many bad jokes to start this video, on the scene, and it is just another problem for Donald Trump. Because the last time we heard from Brian Noem, what did he have to say? That he was willing to leak it all, to share it all, to say it all. And we are going to certainly get into that. But I think the parts of this story he didn't want to come out actually now have. And it concerns what might be some new news to Kristi Noem regarding her marital status. We are going to get into all of that. I'm really just going to enjoy, after a very long week of horribleness from Donald Trump, some horribleness from the horrible people around him. But I want to start first with that threat that I mentioned that Brian Noem made about telling all, potentially implicating Donald Trump, before we get to the marital news for Noem and her husband. Noem's kinky bimbofication husband threatens to tell all. Kristi Noem's husband has said he intends to share his side of the story after photos leaked of his secret cross-dressing life. When approached for comment about the photos, which showed him wearing huge fake breasts while speaking to bimbofication fetish models online, Brian Noem told the New York Times, "I will at some point. Today is not the day. I appreciate your heart," in reference to telling his side of the story. His relationship with his wife, Donald Trump's former Homeland Security Secretary, was the subject of rampant speculation even before the Daily Mail published a bombshell report on Tuesday revealing his fetish for dressing up comically oversized breasts and tight tops while speaking to women posing as real-life Barbie dolls. Of course, this was a few weeks ago, but that is when the story is dated from. After the shocking photos surfaced of Brian Noem, admitting to taking part in the bimbofication scene by posing as women with large breasts, as well as having explicit conversations with other women, Noem, dubbed Ice Barbie for her love of playing dress up, I guess they have this in common, said that the family was blindsided by this and they were asking for privacy and prayers at the time. So Big Busty Brian is saying that he is going to tell all, and Kristi Noem is saying, please look in any other direction away from my husband's large amplifications, to use a word. God, this story is still so funny. But what was it that he was threatening to tell all on specifically? Because if he wants to share more information about his marriage, which we're actually going to get into the state of it a little bit later, maybe that involves Corey Lewandowski and the crimes that would implicate Trump, the rest of this administration, and certainly Noem, that he committed. And we actually got more information about those crimes in the wake of the firing of Noem, the wake of Titgate, that I want to start with before we get to the divorce-related news.
There's a new Inspector General investigation into alleged corruption at the Department of Homeland Security. The soliciting and handling of contracts, quote, including the involvement of former Secretary Kristi Noem and her de facto Chief of Staff, Corey Lewandowski. There was already an internal audit that had been sparked in the department for some reason, but now on top of that, there's a new and apparently quite urgent, quite aggressive investigation, which apparently included investigators searching the offices of one Homeland Security official last week, an official who had been reportedly placed in her DHS job by Corey Lewandowski and Kristi Noem. After NBC News recently reported that Corey Lewandowski reportedly sought multi-million-dollar payments from companies that were contracting with Homeland Security, including specifically companies that operate immigration prisons, he was seeking multi-million-dollar payments for himself from those companies as he was acting as the de facto Chief of Staff at that agency, including an unusual degree of oversight of contracts. I mean, Mr. Lewandowski denies this, but Democratic members of Congress have now opened their own investigation into what may have been going on there.
So if Brian is going to tell all, it is certainly about the reason why he turned away from just enjoying the company of Kristi Noem, his husband, his wife. I don't know. I can't even keep my head straight with who's who in this relationship. I don't know what Kristi's doing behind the scenes, but it would certainly mention the obvious affair that she was having with Corey Lewandowski, would it not? And wouldn't that tell all also include some of the information about the corruption they committed in this administration? I think so. Maybe Brian is going to get his wife indicted. That'd be pretty funny. But what is equally funny, and again, I want to relish in the pain of these people because they're awful, is what's coming out now. Kristi Noem's husband allegedly discussed leaving his wife and transitioning to a woman in stunning new texts. In a Friday report, Daily Mail published text and phone calls revealing more about Brian's relationship with Shai Sotomayor, one of the models who received thousands of dollars from him. The Daily Mail confirmed that one of the phone numbers involved in the exchanges belonged to Brian. The report continued. We have confirmed, this is the Daily Mail, the telephone number used was Brian's, who also paid for their conversations using emails under the pseudonym Crystal Balls 666 and admitted he would like to be referred to by the name Crystal. In the recordings, Brian is heard professing his subservience to Sotomayor, who wasn't shy in dissing his wife, then head of DHS, and in particular criticizing her handling of aggressive ICE operations in Minneapolis. In fact, Brian was apparently so unfazed by Sotomayor ridiculing Kristi that he told the dominatrix she was so much better than his wife and that he didn't think his family stands a chance. His family doesn't stand a chance compared to her. In one of the screenshots included in the report, the person presumed to be Brian told Sotomayor, "I can see us leaving our spouses for each other." In another screenshot, he allegedly told her, "I will be your trans bimbo bitch." In response, Sotomayor encouraged the idea and suggested huge fake tits and ass shots. Brian later said, "I want to be Crystal so bad," referring to his chosen name if he transitioned. So it looks like Titgate isn't done, and there could be some problems with the nuptials between Kristi and Brian. I have heard still, because this story is pretty funny, just so much commentary on, conservatives just need to come out and, live their true lives. And if they did, someone like Brian Noem wouldn't be as horrible. And sure, there's a lot of people like that in the conservative movement. I think part of it is also they get off on knowing that they're kind of running counter to their movement, to what they actually claim. I don't think that there's some, bright, pure soul inside of Brian Noem. I think that he just enjoys doing what he thinks is like bad, or I don't want to say the word naughty because then that gets this video demonetized. We're not going to talk about that, but I think that's what these people get off on. I think they get off on doing what they think is wrong. Not to say, of course, that what Brian Noem was doing, if he hadn't been married, it would have been fine. It's fine as we're doing. Enjoy your time.
No, it just goes to show you that many of these people in the Trump administration are cursed. Look at all the stuff that's happened to Kristi Noem since she entered the Trump administration. Okay. First, somebody stole her purse when she was out dining. Now, you are working for the Department of Homeland Security. You mean to tell me you didn't have anybody with you? Aren't y'all supposed to be going around with bodyguards? How the hell did somebody take your purse from a restaurant? But that happened to her. And she lost all of her clearance IDs and everything. All right. That happened to her. Then it came out that she was having an affair with one of her staffers. And then she went to all those hearings and did horrible in answering questions. And then when she spoke on Brian Petty and Renee Good, she tried to paint them as terrorists and people dragged her over that. Then her ass got paranoid and moved to the military to live on a military base because she was too scared to live out here with the rest of us. Then she lost her job. Then it came out that she was taking money. She gave, I think, $100 million to somebody she knew that just started a business in 3 days. The person's business became active 3 days, right? After they started, she got them $100 million in a government contract. And they were only in business for 3 days. Okay. Then she did those $200 million commercials. She lost her job. And Donald Trump gave her some old made up title. And now all this stuff about her husband being a cross-dresser and wishing he was a woman, all this is now coming out. You know, this woman is the embodiment of a curse. She is cursed. She is definitely cursed. Let's go on.
Yeah, I guess he, you could say cheating on his wife. I guess he technically was via the internet cheating on his wife, wanting to divorce her. I don't know who would want to divorce Kristi Noem, though. I don't think anything he did was certainly worse than what Kristi Noem was doing herself. But it's not that he just like wanted to live this perfectly fine, sexually expressive, do as you please. Like you want to blow up some balloons and pack them in your shirt. That hurts no one. In fact, that's great for you. Live your truth, baby. But I think he gets off on the idea thinking that it is, and I'm sorry, I said gets off and that, this video is taking a turn. But he enjoys like, because these people are bad. That's the conclusion I'm trying to get to here, is that these people are bad. It is not that if we give them, more room to run, then all of a sudden they'll realize the error of their ways. I think they enjoy it. I think they enjoy the repressive nature of it, because that's how they like to behave to other people. They like to be repressive of them. They like to be hurtful of them. They want to make sure they can't leave their lives in happiness and security and freedom. And the privacy that Kristi Noem now demands everyone give her, right? When she was attacking and doxing 2 Americans who were killed by her thugs and calling them domestic terrorists, there was no moment of privacy for those family. But when your husband's got big old titties, then mum's the word. We got to be quiet. Well, maybe husband no longer. Maybe husband no longer for them, because it seems like a split is coming. But there is one place in this whole story that is kind of being overlooked. Of course, everything is in the middle of Donald Trump's mental collapse and threats of genocide against Iranians. It is the threat that DHS still very much poses. Kristi Noem was fired because she was incompetent, and much like Pam Bondi couldn't carry out the crimes and corruption in the way that Donald Trump saw fit. Like that was the reason that she was fired. Pam Bondi's not sticking around anymore because Donald Trump didn't think that she could, successfully cover up the Epstein files. And the firing of Kristi Noem, just besides the fact that she was having an affair, that she was bad on TV, that she made Trump look stupid and ridiculous, all of those things, more so than he already does, it's because Kristi Noem was not going to be able to live up to what Donald Trump wanted next out of DHS. And what Donald Trump wants next out of DHS isn't just more attacks on Americans, but it's attacks on all of our rights, starting with voting. Rachel Maddow broke that down in a report that I want to start with before we close on what I think is coming next.
There's one federal agency that's just getting bigger and bigger under Donald Trump, and that, of course, is the sprawling, scandal-ridden Department of Homeland Security. Here's a heads up about that. There's been quite a bit of attention recently to the fact that the FBI and DOJ have been targeting elections administrators in multiple states, most infamously the FBI raid in Fulton County, Georgia's elections office in January, where they seized hundreds of thousands of ballots from the 2020 election. But here's something to keep an eye on, because we are now also seeing Homeland Security being used to target elections administration. And this is something worth keeping an eye on. A couple weeks after that Fulton County raid, the White House ordered HSI, which is part of the Department of Homeland Security, to start working on elections issues. Then The Atlantic was first to report that HSI was conducting an investigation into the 2020 elections in the state of Arizona. Now, just a few days ago, CBS has reported that Minnesota elections officials have received a grand jury subpoena for Minnesota voter records as part of an investigation being run in part by the Department of Homeland Security. CBS also reports that DOJ is close to finalizing a deal to hand over whatever voter data it manages to get from the states to the Department of Homeland Security. Who knows what they will do with it?
DHS has its sights set next, and Mark Wayne Mullen wouldn't answer when asked about interfering in elections. That is what they want to do next, interfere in elections. So while Kristi Noem is doing her ambassador to the Shield of Americas, whatever that is, and Mike Byron is figuring out what cup size he wants to be, Mark Wayne Mullen will be overseeing Donald Trump's attempts to subvert our elections through direct intimidation and fear. That is what ICE is going to be doing. You've heard this from Steve Bannon, who said that airports in the U.S. were just a test drive. They were figuring it out for what it's going to look like at polling locations. And given what we've seen with ICE at the airport, it makes sense that that is the next logical step. But that is a scary one. And if we do not give attention to this now, we will wake up on election day with ICE all across the country storming polling locations. And I can promise you, they will be in predominantly Black and brown communities. That is where Donald Trump is going to target, in major metropolitan areas, in big blue cities, and anywhere that his thugs can harass people of color. And so our leadership needs to be pushing back against this now. It's why I wanted to bring attention to it amid Titgate, which is certainly fun to talk about, but maybe has less of an impact on our democracy. But Corey, Kristi, and I guess also Brian, forgot about him. He's the husband, though. I wish you all the best in your divorce settlement. Have a blast. I guess you got a lot of money that you stole from us to divvy up. But we're going to continue to cover it all, no matter how ridiculous the news is. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video.
The kink known as bimbification, which apparently is a fetish centered around, well, Barbie-like transformation. And reportedly, he wasn't exactly trying to hide it. And Kristi, well, apparently she is devastated that they were blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at this time. But according to Laura Loomer, who is a good friend of Johnnie and a Washington, D.C. insider, she said the statement that they were blindsided by this is just not true at all, that this was well known in D.C. and the reason why she lives with Corey Lewandowski. She went on to say, literally everyone in the admin has known this forever. I'm shocked it didn't come out sooner. And listen, in a normal world, I wouldn't care about this at all. Consenting adults can do whatever they want in private. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, but this is coming from the same people that have spent years demonizing trans people and pushing these so-called family values. In fact, just today, the Supreme Court struck down a conversion therapy ban, making it so states can't ban so-called conversion therapies, which are aimed at changing someone's sexual identity.
Okay, now one of the things that came out about Brian is there were recordings between him talking to ex-workers and him. And this is one of the recordings that you're about to listen to. All right. So this is another thing that leaked out into the press.
If people saw us together,
I don't give a fuck.
not even if you got recognized.
I don't care. You know what I want?
What?
To be seen with you.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Yeah.
It's time we be seen together.
You told me you loved me, didn't you?
I do love you.
Do you? So much better than your wife, aren't I?
You're so much better.
You can't live without me, can you?
I can't.
Just so weak and desperate for me.
Yes, God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What a good boy.
Looks like the claims that the Daily Mail were making about Kristi Noem's husband was true. Noem has come out and said that she was devastated and blindsided by the allegations. Apparently, her husband, Byron Noem, was living a secret life. Not only are there allegations of fetish behavior, there is visual evidence to back it up. These allegations come just weeks after Noem was fired as DHS secretary. President Trump was surprised by the reports. He stated he felt badly for the family. I just can't believe you would not know this about your husband. But I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have lived secret lives. Kristi Noem herself has been accused of having an alleged affair with her aide, Corey Lewandowski. Definitely a lot of controversy surrounding this family. Noem is requesting prayers and privacy at this time for her family. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Tuesday night. Let me know your thoughts respectfully, please, in the comments.
God bless you.
Today in Trump world, Kristi Noem's husband has been outed as a cross-dresser who has a fetish for huge breasts, and he's even worn those breasts himself. He has a couple photos that we found over at the Daily Mail of him putting balloons under his shirt to emulate these large fake breasts, and he's even paid $25,000 to adult creators to entertain this fetish. Now, Kristi Noem put out a statement saying that she was shell-shocked by the news and she had no idea. But also, this comes in the backdrop of her reported affair with her advisor, Corey Lewandowski, which she has repeatedly denied. Now, it is a shocking report, and the photos are even crazier. I suggest you go check it out on our website. But what do you think this says about the Trump administration? What do you think this says about Kristi Noem and her repeated denial of these affairs? Byron Noem, the guy in question, is the father of Kristi Noem's 3 children. So we'll have to stay tuned to see how this fallout impacts the Trump administration and Kristi Noem's career. Let me know what you think below.
The cherry on top is the fact that it was an immigrant woman who exposed Kristi Noem's husband for his behavior. Yeah, I got a weird lead. A source texted me February 13th, a veteran reporter posted. They said an immigrant sex worker, possibly in the country illegally, wanted to go public about Noem's husband using her services online. It was vengeance for DHS's immigration enforcement. So essentially, a veteran reporter was approached by this immigrant sex worker who said, hey, Kristi Noem's husband has been using my services. I have all of our chat logs. I have all of his photos. I would like to give it to you because I am mad about how ICE has handled these deportations. That is one hell of a way to fight back. The thing is, conservatives, it's not the cross-dressing that bothers us. It's the hypocrisy. If we lived in a reality in which you guys did not make your entire career trying to legislate what other people do with their bodies, this would not even be a story. When J.D. Vance dressed as a woman, no one would have cared. This would never have been a story. It is only a story because it's your hypocrisy that makes it one. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
So Kristi Noem's husband, Byron, is found to be a person who likes to dress up in this manner, like a woman. And quite frankly, Byron, I get why you'd want to hide it from your wife. I mean, these puppies, obviously, you were afraid that she would shoot them. And completely valid, quite frankly. But in all seriousness, it just goes to show that conservatives hate themselves so much that they would rather hide who they are. In this year of our Lord, 2026, they would rather hide who they are than simply just be open and honest and accept themselves like people on the left do. Nope, they'd rather hide it, hate themselves, and then legislate it for everybody else and try to make everyone else's life miserable because they're miserable in their own skin, instead of just being able to accept who they are. I just want to tell you all that we accept you for who you are. If you want to be gay or lesbian or trans or bisexual or asexual or pan, whatever.
Y'all, it's just go to show you. These people will spend their money on stupid shit, but call us bad with money. No, we ain't bad with money. We may not like the same thing you like, but I tell you one thing, I never met one brother within my community that would throw $25,000 away just to talk on the phone to an S worker. I never met one brother in my community that did mess like that. If they got $25,000, they ain't gonna blow it on no conversations with some ex-worker. I know that. So y'all can miss us all with, oh, we are not good with money, and that's what you do with yours. Okay, that says a lot about y'all. Look at Donald Trump. He gave Stormy Daniels what? $300,000 just to lay in bed and do the nasty? Honey, there's a lot of women in this world. I never met one that had a coochie worth $300,000, but Donald Trump gave that money to Stormy Daniels, y'all. Y'all will throw your money away on ridiculous stuff. you have no right to tell us we're bad with money, and your men are doing that with money. You can miss me all. If our men had $300,000, you can best believe they wouldn't give it to no woman like Stormy Daniels for some roll in the hay. Okay, because the average black man can hit that for free. They got swag. They can hit that for free. They ain't got to pay no $300,000 for that. So anyway, y'all, I just wanted y'all to hear all this mess. And, you know, Kristi Noem don't live with her husband, by the way. She lives with her boyfriend. She got a boyfriend. And this was somebody that was on her staff at Homeland Security. That is the man she lived with. She do not live under the same roof with her husband. Now, you want to hear that? That's some jacked up mess. That's some jacked up mess. You will live with your boyfriend and your husband is a cross-dresser. You can't get more messed up than that, y'all, for real. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. At 1:45, we got Bible study, and I had to reschedule the last live for today, so we'll do that one tomorrow. So I will see you at 1:45, family. Shalom.
Shalom, Lisa. Shout out to all you punk ass trolls. We'll see you in the chat. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what the hell's going on. You're full of shit. Get your troglodyte ass up out of here. Like that. No. These other videos ain't playing, so I'm gonna stop the show. So appreciate y'all tapping in. I don't know if the videos aren't playing. I don't have time to figure it out. So this is going to conclude season 6, episode 22, part 3 of the Front Line Blacc News. Join us later on today for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, possibly a continuation show. In the meantime, make sure to like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Frontline Blacc News on YouTube and Facebook. Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook. And Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter. So peace, love, light, reparations, and separations, and delineations of Black empowerment. Chan Krumah and Lady Chase signing off on a mile high income and legal migrant for the city. Go Nuggets. See y'all on the next one. Shout out to Keezy for coming through. Shout out to Cow Dog for coming through. Shout out to a Goddess Snobby for coming through. Shout out to Michael for coming through. Kahari coming through. All right, we'll see y'all later. Peace.